Yes, this is Big J's Escape. Just waiting for the room to warm up. Got two people, so we're just waiting for the room to warm up. Hopefully, YouTube gets out all of the notifications. Yo, salute Jamal. Can't spell today. Salute, brother. Oh, we've got 6 people in the room. Goody, goody, goody. We're gonna. Oh, how's everybody feeling today? Everybody good? Yes, Travel Prof. Salute, my brother. Salute, my brother. You know what, Travel Prof, I swear I got your number, I should have sent you the link. I swear me and you swap numbers, bro. Let me just I swear me and you did swap numbers still. I used to box a bit. Shit. It'll help if I turn down my phone, innit? But big yourselves up though. I decided to go live today about this topic. Actually, I've been meaning to go live. NYC King, salute to you, my brother. Manners and respect. I can't see proper thing still. I know you're following each other. I can't even see you, bro. Yo, all right, say nothing, man. 'Cause I know we did swap some numbers or some details or something like on the could have been an Instagram thing or something. So yeah. So anyway, listen, man, we're gonna get on with the show. We're gonna get on with the show. I just think, you know what? I'm happy with 5 people in the room. So I've always got something to say. So people, this is the first time that you're, by the way, old country boy salute. How am I sounding, people? Please press 1. Am I in and out? Am I clear? Is my sound good? Am I crisp? Just put 1. If it's echoing, and it's not good, just let me know. Let me know how I sound before we proceed to give you what you need. Okay. Give thanks. Any more people? Come on, man. Let me hear if I'm sounding good. Just tap the 1. Tap the 1. We're gonna start this. We are going to start this. So if this is your first time to my channel, please go smash the like button before I even do that, because YouTube be playing big games with man still. So before I even do that, YouTube like to play games. I've got to go to my birthday second people. Birthday ones. Because I've got to put on what's that? We're gonna bun. We're gonna bun because I had to put on the icon to get paid. Let's not. Anyway, so if it's the first time you've been to my channel, please go and smash that like button and subscribe, and definitely go and check out my old YouTube videos, please. We do have some gems in there, so definitely go and check out my old videos and definitely smash that like. So the topic tonight is the pretty woman syndrome. Yes, the pretty woman syndrome. We've all seen it. We've all seen it. Can love flourish with a paper plane? That's what we're going to find out tonight. Can love flourish in this paper play environment that we live in? We're going to give our thoughts tonight. Matter of fact, before we even go there, and you're gonna understand why I've actually called it well, I didn't name it. It was shout out to my cousin, shout out to my baby cousin. He actually named it the pretty woman syndrome. Those of you that might be young, those who might be old, who remembers the film Pretty Woman, Richard Gere and Julia Roberts. So I'm just going to give you just a quick synopsis of the film if you haven't seen it. It's about this millionaire businessman He's in downtown to conduct business. He decides that he's going to do a bit of pay for play. He bucks up Julia Roberts on the street. She offers his services. He gets stoned and basically falls in love. Um, I think his mate at one point in the big film, I think his mate wanted a piece of her, and Richard Gere ended up punching him or something in the house party because I think his mate wanted him. Which the film doesn't show because I'm sure Richard Gere would have told his bedroom, look, you fucked up this paper play. She's on a team, and obviously, you know, I mean, my man wanted in. He tried to make a move of it. My man caught feelings and knocked him out. At the end of the movie, he turns up in some limo with a bunch of flowers and pretty much wipes her away. So this is why it's called the Pretty Woman syndrome. Can love flourish with paper plane. Anyway, joining me tonight is good friends of mine. I'm going to bring them to the stage and introduce them one on one. My brethren Cook is running late, so he will be with us. So without further ado, they've been waiting at the back. I'm going to introduce first. First one is NYC Unks. What's going on, brother? And he's muted.
What's good, sir? What's
Oh, he's
good?
there. What's good, sir? What's good? So this is NYC Unks. He was on my I think it's got 16,000 now. Was Is the Sewer Dead? So definitely go and check out that thing that we done. It to me that was a classic. So definitely go and check out what he's got to say on there. He's dropping out gems. And then next one to the stage is B.O.B. He needs no introduction. Brownie Cabaran, please go to his channel, smash, like, and share. Stop playing. You know what I mean? He's been doing this for the longest while, but still yet people ain't listening. So definitely go and check out his old footage. Go and check out his lives and that. And yeah, man, just go and arm yourself up with some knowledge. So fellas, thank you for joining me today.
It's a
As you can
pleasure to
see
be
by
here.
the title is The Pretty Woman Syndrome, Can Love Flourish um, with the paper plate. So I welcome you to the stage. Unks, can love flourish with the, and before I even get there, actually, before I even get there. So this is what we're gonna take on today. We are gonna take on why brothers do it. We are gonna take on the emotional landscape. We are going to take on the trust and the fidelity. We are going to take on the emotional labor that it carries, the boundaries, the risks, the challenging perceptions that it may have. Can you personally grow from being in a situation like that, or have brothers just given up? So, Unks, the question to you is: can it be done? This pretty woman syndrome. Can love flourish with paper plane?
I mean, what we seeing is being done. We'll never know if it's flourishing or not. But I will say that it depends on where you at in your life. You know, what's your level of women you've had and what you've dealt with. You know, um, just would I personally do it? No. You know, the backdrop to everything when you're dealing with someone is being able to walk the streets. And if you're walking the streets, you want to hold your head up high. Not saying that these guys are not holding their head up high, but you know, being from the hood, BLB will tell you, you being from London, from the hood, they'll tell you when you walk the streets with your woman, if dudes have had her, they're whispering to the dude next to them that they've had her. These are the things that go on. So how high can you hold your head if you know that your girl has had 100 dudes, 200 dudes, 300 dudes, 400 dudes? And that's not to say that every female gets picked when they're out there, because they don't. But you talking about lasting careers. This is careers for them. Some of them been out there 10 years. So, personally, it just depends on where you at mentally and where you at in your life, man, whether or not it's going to work or not. If you can't, if quote unquote, if we're talking about the baddies from these countries, if you're a dude that's never had a baddie, then you are susceptible to be taken in by that. And there's a lot of dudes lying about having baddies,
Mm.
you know? I mean, that's just my take on it. It can, but it's not for me. It's not for me because
BLP, take.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
go
BLB.
ahead. No, go ahead. No, please go ahead,
Um,
I put you in
I
a
think
position.
that,
Go ahead.
because anybody can betray you. Anybody can betray you. Anybody. It don't matter who it is. The only thing that they will know for sure that when it comes down to it is that they know what this person's background definitely is and what they've done. When you meet someone new, you have no idea what they have in their closet, but you know what this person got in theirs. I'll pass the torch to my man BLB because he is waiting in the wings.
I think it's kind of interesting the comments that was just left. There were two comments that was left. Love is for suckers, and I'm not wasting my money and time on the slot machine chicken heads from NYC King. And I think that's what it is. The first question that needs to be examined though is what is love today? Love today is not what love was back in the day. It's a different element. It's a different animal. Um, and so you find guys that are uh, foregoing love for let's be honest, because I'm gonna be honest all the time. Guys are foregoing love because they have a fear of the pain and being hurt again, right? They have a fear of being let down and deceived. They have a
Mm.
fear. It's a fear, right? The game. But the problem from the beginning is love has always been a risk. It's always a risk. You know what I'm saying? Ted Bundy, Wayne Gacy. I always use this analogy. They had wives and girlfriends that slept next to them every day, and they never knew who that man was. He was a serial killer. They never knew who he was, right? So love is always a risk. You never know what this person's going to turn into. But the only way that you can get to the promised land is if you play the game. Now guys have checked out of the game. So guys are checking out of the game. And here is the checklist. Does she give me any stress? Does she is she pleasing me sexually consistently as much as I want? Does she fall in line of what my uh, uh, does she fall in line of what my programming is? And so if she does all of those, which never mention love, then you go into a situation with her where you either marry her or go get into a relationship with her, and she can be a prostitute because she's fulfilling the needs that that man meets. So it doesn't really. Some of these guys look at it as it doesn't matter the background of what she comes from or what she did or how many eggplants she took to the face. You know what I'm saying? It just matters that she's aesthetically pleasing to you and that you like her and she fulfills your needs. This is how some guys look at it, right? Now, me myself, I don't look at it that way. I don't want somebody personally, like Unc said, I don't want nobody that's been ran through. It's not my thing. You know what I'm saying? I want a woman with a little bit of integrity to her, a little bit of reservedness to her. But for the point of the show to not talk too long, yes, it is very possible, and it happens every day, and it's never gonna stop. Where the pretty woman syndrome happens. Guy flies from point A, arrives to point B, sees something throughout a transaction and wants to transfer that transaction to a relationship because he connected with that person intimately, right? Not knowing that there's 50 million other people that connected with her intimately all as well. But he doesn't care because she checks off the boxes that he needs. And so we have to define what love is before we start talking. What is love or what is the purpose? because guys get into these relationships and love is not on a program. Some guys want somebody to cook and clean for them and give them peace, but also give them sex every day. There's guys that's in that type of game. And then my last point, then you get those guys that never have had any reaction with beautiful women like that ever in their life. And they just fall all the way in. And they think that they can save this woman or take her off the street and give her a better life because he's a computer programmer or he's whatever. And he's in the house all day. He stacks up his bread. He's not a person that spends crazy, but he wants to pour all of that, which he calls love, into her because she's a baddie. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to talk too long, but that's what I see in this with this particular topic. What goes on overseas with these guys losing their minds, as I would say it, but in reality, some of these guys are just checking off the boxes that they want for their lives, and I can't be mad at that.
Welcome to the stage, Easy. What's going on, brother?
What up, bro? It's good to hear from you, man.
You as well,
Easy,
man. You as well.
Yo, BLB, how you feeling today?
good, and you, fam, was good.
I'm feeling good. You ready for this weekend of boxing?
I'm
Canelo's
ready for.
fighting. I'm not. I'm sorry. Charlo's fighting and Planet's fighting.
I'm ready for boxing. I'm tired of basketball, so I'm ready for boxing. Y'all already know. Y'all already know why. Y'all New Yorkers
Anyway,
know why.
anyway, Easy. Welcome to the panel. Today's topic tonight is about the pretty woman syndrome. Can love flourish with a paper play? What's your take on that?
um, let's be honest. That's number one. If we're gonna have this conversation, I know I came a little late. My alarm clock messed up. I'm sorry I'm late, Professor Big J. Um,
No, you're good, bro.
okay, I'm just so I have to. I'm commenting. I came in hearing BLB's monologue. Um, let's be honest. If we're gonna have this conversation, let's be honest. Because a lot of dudes like to compare it to dudes traveling, to dudes who might be in the passport bro area, which I don't consider myself a passport bro because I'm not a passport bro, but I do travel. Uh, again, I say at the outset, we have to be honest. We have to be honest about the culture of different countries and different subsets in those countries. The American culture, um, in the last 10 years, I think it has, they've said that they have more people, we have more people in America who are not married than people who are married, adults. More people who are living single than who are married. Because American culture has begun to not prioritize family, not prioritize marriage. So most people say, why get married? If you get married and you're a man and you have a good job, you make a good living, let's say you marry your high school sweetheart, you have kids, you get married at 20, straight out of college or whatever, and next thing you know, 10 years later, you have two kids and y'all break up. I'm not going to say she said, oh, I'm tired of being married, which I've heard often. Men of different races, Puerto Rican, blacks, but especially white men. And I'm just going down this road for, if you let me just for a minute, is that I've heard many white men who make great money say, my wife came home one day and said she didn't want to be married anymore, left me with the kids. I heard another brother tell me, um, him and his wife been going together since junior high school. It was in the mid 20s. The school called him one day because they had been having problems. The school called him one day. She had got a new job. She was hanging out with a new set of friends. And he said the school called him one day. They've been together for over 10 years and said to him, could you come pick up your kids? He said, what? My wife is supposed to be, his wife is nowhere to be found. So he had to go get his kids from school because the wife wanted to party and hit the streets. So, and then just one more example, our brother, black dude, worked together. We didn't get along per se, but we got along good enough that he told me one day he was breaking down. And he was breaking down, was doing security. He was crying, and he just started talking to me. And he was like, "Yo, he don't know what to do." I'm like, "What you mean you don't know what to do?" Like, I'm looking around the locker room, like, "Are you talking to me?" And he started talking to me, saying, "I don't know what to do." We had just got off our shift, and he didn't want to go home because his wife wanted to leave him, but he had to go home because I think his mother or somebody from his family is watching his kids because his wife was gone for the past week. Just poof, take the kids, I'm going. Now, as a man who makes a good living, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing as a man. How do you function in that society? What's your options? Because the women will tell you, many will, oh, I'm tired of this. Oh, I'll drop the baby off. I need a break. So when these men go overseas and they find a woman who is feminine, who's as the great Kevin Samuels would say, feminine, fit, and cooperative, who can be mad if he says, all right, yeah, she's ran through, but guess what? Your wife was ran through in America. Dudes go home, they don't tell nobody, and their wife is out partying the whole weekend away, and she's gone, and he's at home chilling, drinking, getting drunk, because he knows his house life is in shambles. What do we say about him? I'm just I'm just responding to what BLB said. We got to talk about the culture. The thing about these ladies in other foreign countries, the reason they do it is because they can make more money in a weekend or a week selling themselves than a nurse can. But yet in America, a woman can get a good job. She can go to school and get training for free, especially if she's a single mom. So we got to weigh the scales. All I would say to men is keep your eyes wide open. Keep your eyes wide open. Know what you want. If you're going to deal with a chick on the streets, deal with a chick on the streets. Know what you want. If you want a relationship and you don't care what her past was, know that and accept it, but know that you might run into a dude or see somebody who used to mess with your lady.
So before
That,
you
that's
end on
that's my thing.
that note, easy, is it something that you will do?
Yes, under the right circumstances, I definitely would. I definitely
Okay,
would. And
okay,
I'm straight up
okay.
about it. I used to be like no, but what changed me was my time in the military. I saw dudes who was like, yo, they know their wife is banging the cable guy. I was young in my early 20s. I'm like, what? Your wife?
Yo,
Right?
easy,
Yeah,
I'ma
yeah, but
say,
easy.
that's a little
Yo,
different
easy,
though. That's a little different
easy.
though.
I'ma
This is
say, I'ma
hold on,
say
hold on.
what
Hey
Dr.
Jay,
Khaled said. That's one sick Negro. That's what
yo
I'm
Jay,
gonna
yo
say.
Jay. Let me
Go
address
ahead.
something to easy real quick. Yo,
Yeah,
easy. I
go
agree
ahead,
with
bro.
everything you
Go ahead.
said. The part that everybody don't understand is that military part you just said. That military thing is like the college campus, bro.
Yes.
Them
Of life.
dudes leaves and their wives be smashing everything on the base.
But hold
Everything.
on, fellas. But hold on. They do that. I've heard. I'm not military, but I got a whole bunch of military family, and I've heard of those things happening. But at the same time, fellas, we're talking about a shorty that probably grabbed up at something crazy like 5 or 6 bodies versus 40 and 50,000. Let's let that weight sit on your shoulders. We're
Can I say
talking
something to
about
you,
guys.
BLB?
Go ahead.
No, because we
I
got
want to respond
somebody.
to that.
Hold your thought,
Okay.
easy. Sorry, hold your thought, easy. Before we go, because we just had NYC thing come up. Before we get to him, people, please smash that like button. I'm not asking for no donations. If you want to donate, obviously, do what you want to do. But please, all I'm asking for is wipe your feet when you come in. Smash that like button. Not only smash that like button, share the live. I don't ask for much. NYC King, welcome, bro. NYC King, can't hear you,
Yo,
bro.
yo, salute to the panel. Salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to Big J. I don't know if you guys could hear me.
Yeah, you got beeping in your
Just about.
background.
Yeah, that's my radar detector. Hold on. for a second. So let me touch bases on this whole situation. Most of us on this panel have traveled. Okay, we travel for fun, we travel for pleasure, we travel for adventure, we travel for the culture, and some guys just travel for pay for play. And I'm an old school throwback. You know, I've been in Brazil with club helpers over there. I've had the most beautiful woman on the planet when it was hot down there. You know, I've chilled out in Sewell with Greg flip flop, and I've seen the tone just change. Seen the tone just change, and I'm that experienced. I've been married in 2 different countries. I've been married in Rio de Janeiro. I have a Brazilian son that's here in Mount Vernon, New York, and I was married in Ljubljana, Slovenia, in Europe. So, I mean, I'm not saying I'm the most experienced man on this planet. I mean, on this panel, but I'm experienced. I learned one thing growing up in Yonkers and stuff, and I learned one thing in relationships that all women think on emotion, and that you really can never trust one. You really can't trust one because every single woman I've had, I've caught them in something. It's, they underestimate a man that is smart
Mm.
to figure out certain things. You know, and I'm not gonna lie, when Yonkers, like, I threw chicks out. Get out my house. Get out. I had all my chicks were baddies. Every single one of them. Every single baby's mama had it. So I'm not laying down with nasty. I gotta be able to be like, I want to come home from work and I'm going to have fun. Well, traveling to Brazil, I broke the golden rule. You know, and I found this
So
this woman that just, I don't want to go tell a long story, but anyway,
no, go ahead, bro. I thought you were finished. Sorry, go ahead, please, please.
the moral to the story that every single one of us on this panel in chat, a woman is either cheating on us or she had deception about it in one of our relationships. Okay, you guys saying milk? No, I got a son who's in Japan. He got a Japanese wife. But you guys are right. These military chicks are hitting everything, and then you don't know how many bodies the chick got on her. And then you gotta be careful these days. And this generation, women think that it's a financial thing to be with a man. It's not like when we were kids, we could take a girl to the movies and out to the store. As soon as a woman says, "Can you support me?" She can't be in my realm. Okay, Big J knows I hate passport bros. I hate them. I hate the whole concept of it. I call them passport bros suckers. Okay, because these are some lame dudes that got a passport and they destroy everything they touch. Destroy to sewer, creep camming, girls snatching phones from Philly
Facts.
Dom.
I just want to
You know,
say amen. Just want to say amen to the creep cam and how it's destroyed Chasua.
they
Please
destroy
continue.
the sewer.
So
They
the
went
question,
they went from 40 pesos to 5,000 pesos. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, we're gonna get deep with that because there's a lot of
we're gonna
guys
get, yeah, we don't what we don't want to
that
do, fellas, is stray away from the question at hand, because you see this topic has got so much
that's
antennas
deep.
Can I?
attached.
But can
So
I?
what we don't want to do is
I
stray
got you.
off from the
But
Yo,
but
Jay,
Big
main
I
J,
could,
subject.
Big J, can I
But here's the
respond?
question to you. Here's the question to you, NYC kid. The pretty woman syndrome. Can love flourish with a pay for play? And would
no,
you do it? And would you
no,
personally do it? Right.
no. I'm from the old school where the truth is the truth. You can't turn a O into a housewife. You just can't.
So in
You
a,
can't think.
yeah,
Let me just say one more thing, Jay.
yeah, go ahead, please. Yeah, please.
You can have a cat, and it was a kitten, and you pet this cat, you love this cat, and everything like that. And then the cat somehow gets out the house,
Mm,
and it comes back pregnant. Every cat in the neighborhood tap that cat.
mm,
You bring that cat back in your house, it's not the same cat no more.
mm.
Okay? Same thing with a woman. She ain't the same woman. Once you gone, she looking for support from somebody else. Multiple support from multiple men. And have multiple boyfriends that she's saying I love you every night to. It's a job to these chicks now.
Mm.
All right, that's all I got to
Facts.
say. I don't want to take
Okay.
over the time.
No. Please stay with us, bro. I mean, because we want to hear more from you. Rico, you there?
Yes, sir, Jay. How you doing, sir?
Okay. I'm not too bad. Yourself?
I'm doing good. I am so happy to be talking to you, brother.
Wait a
I
minute.
ain't talked to you in a
That's
while.
Rico. Is that
Yeah,
Rico?
Yeah, this Rico.
CLB, I've been looking for you.
Rico, what up, man?
I've been looking for you, Brown Liquor. I have been looking for you, brother.
Did I do
have
something?
seen,
Did I do something
followed-
wrong?
No. I'm saying you are a legend before your time. I've watched you, Jay, and the sheriff brother down in Brazil. Man, I died laughing watching that content. Your shit be like hitting. I love your content. I was like, damn, I gotta follow Brown Liquor Baron. Your shit is like it's real. So
Man,
salute to
I've
you.
been saying some things before you and Peso started. I've been saying pretty much the same thing, and people didn't like it. So it is what it is.
Yeah, and everything's come full circle. I'm listening to the conversation today, and
Right.
I'm like, let me just say this. I don't want to mention any name, but there's another big YouTuber, international, whatever, that had an epiphany the other day that
Oh,
claimed
that nigga Zoe. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
you're talking
Hold
about.
on,
I'll
hold
say
on.
his name.
Okay.
We're gonna.
I want to be careful.
No,
But let me just
Nah.
hold that thought, Rico.
Okay.
Because what I don't want to do, I don't want to
Jump
hold that
ahead.
thought because
Right.
me and it's funny. No, here's the reason.
Yes. Okay.
Here's
Yes,
the
sir.
reason.
Yes,
The
sir.
reason is that me and Bill B actually had that conversation
Okay.
together. So I wanted to hold off from that a minute. So
Okay.
as you
All right.
know, the show is about the pretty woman syndrome.
Yes.
Can love flourish with a play chick? What is your thoughts on it? Can it work? What's your
Okay.
thoughts on it?
I'll tell you. Okay. So NYC King, salute to you also, brother. I agree with what you're saying, but I think there's a slight caveat because I listened to a young man on somebody's, I think it was on Razors and somebody else's, this guy that supposedly got engaged to a former.
Yeah, we saw the pictures.
Right.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, we saw the
So
pictures.
you know about that backstory. So
Yes, I do.
so I'm trying to be like, okay, I'm not gonna try to be harsh like me and Pacer used to be. I'm gonna try to understand a little bit. So I do think. So I'm saying, we had the song "I'm in Love with a Stripper," right? And we all used to laugh about that. And it's like, so we do know that as men, we fall in love with some salacious shit because we're whatever pleases the eye. If it looks good, we want to, in our mind, visualize it can be more pure than what it presents. So what I thought about, I said, I'm in the same school as everybody else. A hoe is a hoe is a hoe is a hoe is a hoe, right? But however, I don't necessarily always believe that a person can be in the world one way and can never evolve or change. The problem is that what does it take for that person to evolve and change? So if we're talking about a street worker, every time someone says you're going to save a hoe into a housewife, the first thing I ask them is, the niggas never say nothing about getting them therapy. They never talk about getting these women therapy. These women who have been, whether they've been trafficked or whether they've done it willingly, they need fucking therapy. They need, so if you told me you took a street worker and you dated her for 3-4 years and you and her got some intensive therapy, because you need to help these people recover from what they've been through, then I would say it's a possibility.
Excuse me.
But
Excuse
dropping
me.
$100 and getting her hair and buying her a nail shop, get the fuck out of here. She's
Excuse
still
me.
the same thing she was. And
Can I ask a question?
But go ahead.
Rico, how you doing? It's Easy here. Easy Rollins.
Hey, what's up,
How you
E?
feeling? How
All
you
right,
feeling?
sir.
Good,
And
good.
let's go. Sorry, folks, we have to go easy on the F-bombs, please. We
I'm
have
sorry,
to go
apologies.
easy. No, it's okay. I'm saying we have to go easy on the F-bombs.
Just remind me, I got a dirty mouth.
Yeah, he do got a dirty mouth. He not quick in the head. But listen, Rico, would you say the same thing about an American dating a stripper in America, in DC?
Yeah, I think any type of woman that's in a, especially because the bottom line is sexual work, whether it's prostitution, whether it's stripping, whether it's OnlyFans, I think a lot of those women are damaged in some ways. And unless they heal from whatever's damaging them, then you can forget about talking about a serious, solid relationship. And what we're trying to do is, like you said, you're trying to put a Band-Aid on a fucking headshot. That person's still gonna die. They've been shot in the head, and you put out a fucking Band-Aid. That's just stupid. I'm sorry. That's just stupid. If you're going to say, most of those women will tell you, and there have been women who have recovered from traumatic things. It's deep therapy, counseling, and half the dudes in this space need therapy and counseling.
Here we go. Listen, let me say this.
I'm just saying they do.
The reason I asked you that, we've talked before. And my thing is, people want to fix and talk about Dominican Republic, Colombia, Thailand, and what's going on over there, but don't know these are people from Western societies where there's a lot of money and opportunity, and they don't want to talk about that over here, like in America or in the UK. At 18, a woman can go out and put all her stuff online and get paid to do it.
Sure.
We don't want to deal with that.
Well, hold on, Easy. I think the context, right, for the original context of the question that Big J posed, let's talk about the U.S. because you mentioned the U.S. a couple of times.
Because I'm talking about culture. Remember I said
I know.
I talk about culture.
I'm about to say exactly what you're saying, but I'm gonna take it another step. We gotta understand also that if a man decides to travel overseas, and I know that Rico and Peso was going at these dudes, rightfully so, because I was too. But as I thought a little bit more about it, Instagram, everybody from the NBA, NFL, and MLB are messing with whores. Let's be clear. Let's be clear.
That's all I ask. BLB. That's all I ask is be honest about it, because you got to talk about it differently when you bring that into the mix.
Let's be clear. Actors in Hollywood, every rapper, there is not a rapper that is not messing with whores or I got a baby by whores. Let's be clear. Cardi B was a whore. Let's be clear. Meg the Stallion. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yo, BLB. Be careful, BLB. Be careful, BLB. I want to keep you on the panel.
I gotta tell the truth. Cardi B is what she is. Meg the Stallion.
Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter just married one.
Just married one.
Man.
Just married
one. That's a good
There's
example.
A list. Everybody that go to Miami
Travis Hunter
is pay for play. All them chicks on them boats in Miami is pay for play. You got on that boat because somebody had some bread and you gave them some strength. Let's be clear about the culture everywhere. So United States, we're seeing that. I mean, Ant-Man from Minnesota just paid off a Instagram model, paid his child support in advance because he didn't have to pay him.
For 18 years. For 18 years.
Deion Sanders just ducked one, didn't he? His baby's mother was a hoe before he got with her. Let's be clear. So
now let's go back.
Go ahead, brother.
Go ahead.
No, I just want to add
yo, BLB. Because BLB. Let me add something to that. I was hanging with a dude in Virginia, right? His girl slept with the entire football team, dog. Well, his wife, I will say. The entire football team. And you know what his response to me was? Well, she's my hoe now. And I say, yo, well, you got to be strong mentally to deal with that. He says, yo, I ain't. I said, okay.
You just got to forget it. He just got to forget it. Look. Guys.
Nah, I agree.
Look at this, guys. When you are in the room privately with your mango, Let's just say that. That's just you and her. You pillow talking, you kissing. Some of y'all doing, I heard them stories about Brazil. Some of y'all are asking her to do some crazy things to your backside. Let's be clear. That's your private time with her. So your special time with her, this is a true story. We got me and Big J know somebody to tell us these stories. So let's be clear.
Yep.
These private interactions, the world is away from you. So what you doing with her, you think that's a private one-on-one. And then when you take her from country A to Missouri, UK, whatever, right? All these commenters, and critical people is not in your house or on your block. So you go through everyday business with a woman that have slept with more men than there is in your entire city. It's wild work, but I get it. It's happening.
So what are you
And yo,
criticizing?
BLB, can I just throw one more thing in there for you guys to grab?
I'm criticizing the choices of the men. The choice of the men.
Not even that, BLB. You know what I'm saying?
You just giving.
Oh, look,
you giving. Go ahead.
Look, let me just say one thing. Right now, I can look in my WhatsApp and I can find 5 females from DR right now in my WhatsApp that's living better than me, and that's a tough task.
Yeah, but
but hold on. And what I mean by living better than me, dog, I'm telling you, they're in the United States right now, dog, right now. And these chicks is living in high-rise buildings, got 2 and 3 cars paid for, drooling out, and part of the problem is one thing we not addressing. Stay the fuck out the strip clubs, dog. Why are you giving these chicks that's not used to $200?
Brothers.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We have to go.
Okay, I'm sorry. Why are you giving someone thousands of dollars that's not used to $200?
But see here, you know part of the problem.
I agree.
You can find 5 Dominican women that's living in the U.S. that's living 100 times better than you, but I can find 5,000 that's living worse than you. So everything is scale. So I mean that's just always the case where you can I'm saying I can go to Colombia, you can go to Thailand, you can get winners out of every community. But large, the majority
depends on your perspective.
But what I mean, King, what do you mean by
what I mean by that, King?
Hold on, guys.
I have to stop you there. I have to stop you there. Sorry, because Cook's just come into the room. So welcome, Cook, man.
What's up, Cook? Long time no see. What I mean by that, King? Yo, Jay, what I wanted to say is what I mean by that, King, is this.
Yeah.
Those 5 women is going to walk in the U.S. and they're going to fool a whole bunch of dudes that don't even know their background, because they're going to look at the car, they're going to look at the crib, and they're going to look at the money. And they ain't going to want to know nothing about none of the other stuff. It's going to mean nothing to them.
They're not fooling them. They're not fooling them, fellas. They're not fooling.
Well, you know what I mean, BLB. You know what I mean.
I know what you mean. But once they get that visa, it's a facelift.
But listen, I want to respond to BLB because
easy. I have to introduce Cook. I'm sorry. I have to.
Go ahead. Yeah.
How say, yeah.
So everybody Cook, know him.
What's up, Cook? What's up, Cook?
Everybody know him.
Let's go Steelers.
What's up?
Let's go Steelers.
I don't know. Please introduce yourself to me, Cook. I don't know you, Cook. Please introduce yourself to me.
Right. So, Cook, hold on. We can't all talk at once. So, Cook, you know what the show's all about. The Pretty Woman Syndrome. Can love flourish with a pay-for-play chick. We just want to know your thoughts on it, and will you do it, and why brothers do it? Go ahead. The floor's yours.
I would not do it, but I understand why some brothers do it. You know, it's easy access to the sex of it. If you want to, I don't know if I, say that on the stream or whatever, but the problem is they're trying to change the rules of the game. These dudes are trying to skip steps. Like, you can't be hired for middle management. You have to work your way up. You can't have it easy with the sex part and then expect to have a relationship that's gonna fall in line. You know what I mean? A lot of times when you want a relationship, you have to start from ground zero, get to know somebody. And in these cases, it's better to learn the language, get the culture right, uh, be good with the family, embrace, you know what I'm saying? Embrace the food, embrace everything about it so it can be authentic and so you can be respected. You know, you're not going to be respected sitting up there, don't know Spanish, people talking about you. You might be sitting up there with her boyfriend, you know what I'm saying? And he's her cousin. She's saying he's her cousin, but.
Cook, let me give you an example real quick to hone in on your point. In the United States, Big J, there is I don't know if y'all noticed, there's this website where you can get salvage cars that have been destroyed and turn them. So you can go get I think there was Bentleys and all types of shit. You get the Bentley, you buy it for cheap, you take it, repair it, and now you got a Bentley. You can't go and buy a Bentley right off the lot because you ain't walking around with $200,000-$300,000 to waste on a Bentley. You ain't living that lifestyle. So you could go and get a little joint. I was about to buy a Q5, Q50, a Q45 Infinite way back. You know, Q45s is way back.
Yeah.
And it had hit a pole, and you just needed to get one of the machines to pull out the frame or whatever, and you back in the game. So this is what guys is doing with these women. You getting these salvage jobs, right? Because you cannot go and bag any woman of that stature regularly in the United States. So you go and get these beautiful women that have mental problems, emotional problems, damage, been ran through more than Amtrak, and Amtrak goes a lot of places. Right. And now you bringing her home because she's a baddie and she's submissive to what you want, but now she has your last name. And then what happens every time once she get to the United States, then once you go to work and she's in the house every day bored, that phone starts moving and she starts saying, "Hey, Daryl, did you know I'm in New York City? Let's meet up." And then Daryl's in your chick. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, these guys. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say this. A lot of cats got a problem.
But Cook, can I ask you one question? You use, and I don't want to say that, and I'm gonna shut up after that. You use the word easy.
Right.
Is it easy or are they being lazy?
That's
my thing. Is they're being lazy?
It's along the same lines.
Okay.
You got, a lot of dudes lead with their money. A lot of dudes, they don't want to learn the language, so they lead with their money. They don't want to go through all of that stuff, so they lead with their money. I know cats that you're in a Spanish-speaking country, but they sending a chick to English school to learn English, but you're in DR, you're in Colombia. Learn their language. You know what I'm saying? And then another thing that a lot of cats do, they have this fetish or this obsession with whores. with strippers. And a lot of times these dudes want to turn a hoe into a housewife. They want to be that dude that wants to fuck a hooker for free. It's a lot of dudes that want to, in their mind, they want to accomplish that. They want to be that one dude. Everybody know that one dude that be trying to fuck hoes for free. She pays.
We gotta go easy on the F-bombs.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Sorry. No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
No. I'm glad you let me know. It's a lot of dudes.
You're not gonna be monetized, Jay. Give it up.
I'm already
monetized. I'm already monetized.
You trying to get
let it go.
You trying to go viral.
He means for this video. He said for this video. It's not gonna happen.
For this video.
Flip some
not with these guys on there.
But it's a lot of dudes.
You got three Northeasters up here, bro. It's not going. It's hard.
It's a lot of dudes. It's a lot of dudes that want that in a woman. I mean, they want to be like Hugh Hefner. Paying, these women be having a whole nother man, a whole nother life, but they want to be calling me on my phone. But yeah, it's a lot of dudes that want that. They have that mentality, and that's really not a good thing. That's toxic. That's a lot of too much social media, too much Instagram, too many looking at too many baddies and shit. Damn, I'm using this phone. I gotta tell this mom not to call me.
You good,
But
Cook? You good? We hear you good.
yeah,
Yo,
yeah.
your boy Leon said something that Big J. I just want to address this. He said
Yeah.
that one thing is that guys, you're not mentioning that these girls over there in these countries, in these foreign countries,
Hold on.
they're
Let me put that up.
scrappy.
Hold on. Let me
Yeah,
put
yeah,
that
yeah.
up. Hold on. Before you even go, because right. Okay. So bam. So this is what you're referring to. Yeah. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
this is a misconception because in Dominican Republic and Colombia, the locals will bag her. The locals will wife her. The locals do go after those women, and they will be with those women. And more times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, those women will seek out. She could have a gringo giving her the life that she wants, but she will revert back to her locals. Those guys are still taking them girls.
Facts.
These girls have a retirement plan,
But
whether it's going to be us or them.
but
That's what
BLB,
dudes need.
this
No,
is the part that gets me, is because again, we have this same conversation in the States, right? I think so. When we talk about, like, I'm just going to use the word passport bros for the sake of this conversation, right? For men who travel, right? The vast majority of men, black men, period, don't travel overseas. Only a small percentage, maybe 20% do. 80% never leave the country, right?
right.
So
Probably
this
more than that.
so in these spaces where they talk about men that's traveling, and I'm pro men travel. I want 100% to travel, but for different reasons. Just travel is a beautiful thing. The world is global. You need to see the world. The world is not fucking freaking America. It's not America. It's not the UK. It's the world. But what they say is that, oh, 80% of the women in the UK or America want the top 20%. That's so untrue. Because other than that, you wouldn't have these higher, you have rates of men. I'm like, women in the bottom 20% are not looking for men in the top 20% because they don't even know what they look like. That's nonsensical. But these are narratives that they push to sell the notion to a lot of it is just a grift. It's a grift. It's like males selling an ideology. I'm like, I tell men to travel, but I'm not going to lie for why you should travel. I would say BLB, Jay, Cook, travel because the world is bigger than America. You need to see the rest of the world. I don't care about what American women are like. You need to, if American women were great and the best women in the world, you still need to travel. You need to see how people live in other countries. You need to see how people socialize in other countries. You need to see different religions. You need to see all of this stuff because the world is global. We're all interconnected. And if you, when we're segregated or we're in our bubble, whether it's by race or whether it's by religion or whether it's by nationality, that's not good for you mentally. It's better for me to say, hey, let me go over to the UK and see how Jay and his people get down. Because I don't know how they do it, and I don't know how he's a brother like me. I don't know how they get down in the UK if I don't go there. He don't know how
Same as
we
New
get down
York
in the
women.
US if he doesn't come
Same
here.
as New York
One
women.
thing I wanted to say on the previous point when you mentioned their locals and us as a retirement plan. What we need to understand, us that do this, get it out your mind of, oh, they're these poor girls. We feel sorry for them. They don't have opportunity. No.
That's a lie.
I'm like this. Believe the opposite. If she says she has money, she's broke. If she says she don't have money, she got money.
She got money.
Right. This is a choice. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, there's situations or whatever, but where we go, this is a choice. And
Well,
it's it's
let's
it's it's a situation of it's not they don't have, it's just that they could be doing worse. And
yes.
it's not a situation of they're starving or what have you. It's a situation of they want nicer things. They
So,
want to
but
buy, they want stuff for their kids. They want to buy, they want to get the material things. They want to get their nails done all the time. They want to get their hair done. They want this is they spend most of their money, most of this money they doing this, they spend it on immediate happiness.
They want the social media life. And what's
Temporary.
crazy, what's crazy is when I was in Sasua, I went to Sasua not for what everybody else goes there for, but I was there. How were you there for a week? And then the next week starts and you broke again. Where did your money go? You had 1 million clients. You was getting the clap down. You was getting clapped every day, 2 times a day. Where's the money going? So
And
yeah,
then,
they have bad economics.
And then you got women who you be like, I know this chick broke in your mind, but they're turning down 3,000, 4,000 pesos. They're turning
Yes.
down certain amounts of money. And a chick told me once, she said, if a chick turns down 4,000, that means she has that much in her pocket.
Yeah, Big J was with me when the girl,
Mhm.
Big J was engaged, having a conversation. Big J was having a conversation. I'm not gonna tell y'all with who, and he'll be mad if I might show y'all a picture later. But anyway,
Oh, you fucking
Big J was having
I
a
want to see that
conversation.
picture. I want to see that picture,
Nah, I'm gonna
BLB.
drop every. Nah, I'm gonna drop
BLB.
every
If you
fucking
don't have
F-bomb.
pictures, it didn't happen. If you don't
Nah,
have
definitely.
pictures, it didn't happen.
But if they pick
Hey,
God.
hey, hold on, Big J, do I have pictures? Yes or no?
Right, so I'm gonna tell the story because
You gotta share
Bill's
it.
gonna twist this fucking story into
Hold on.
something
Hold
that
on,
it's
hold on.
not.
Let
But
me
go
just
ahead.
land this real quick. The
Yeah,
girl
what I have to do after when
showed
BLB
me-
drops, I'm gonna have to stick a pin, and we're gonna move on. But go ahead.
The girl showed me $7,000 cash in her bank account, bank reserve, right? She's out there chopping it up, speaks English, all that. She got a what do you call it, a sugar daddy or a financier. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, some of those girls out there that won't take your 4,000 pesos because they already up. They
Yeah.
up.
It's
You know what
some
I'm saying?
girls that come from money in their family. They just do what they do.
But that's not most of them. If they out
You know
there
what
in
I
the
mean?
street,
But at the same
come
time,
on, man,
it's
come on.
just a perspective.
Let's
It's
no.
a
What I'm saying,
perspective
cool.
that-
Hold on, I'm gonna have to stick,
I'm
guys.
with
I'm gonna have
you.
to
Just don't
stick a
do that.
pin. I have to stick a pin in that for a minute because we are straying away from talk. We're talking, even though there's so much antennas to this subject. What we're trying to do is we are highlighting the minds of. We know what these women are doing. We're well aware of what these women are doing in these places and how they're going about their business. We're trying to highlight the minds of these brothers that are wifeying them, and that's where I think we're running from. So,
But Jay,
hold
this
on,
is.
I haven't finished.
Sorry. Go ahead.
So, we've talked about Captain Save a Hole. We've talked about acceptance. We've talked about them being lazy, not having to use their mouth to talk to women. My thing now is to deal with the emotional landscape of things. How does that emotionally affect a brother that is going? Because here's my take on it. Here's my take. When I started traveling, one thing I did see is brothers doing the paper play. Next thing you know, they're wifing the chick. The chick becomes their girlfriend. Could it be just that these brothers are just so annoyed, so tired of the Western woman that it's got to the point where they're like, okay, she's a pay for play. She lives that lifestyle. So, you know what? When I balance it out between dealing with this back home and all this headache and I'm a baddie and okay, and I can deal with this chick that she's on the streets or selling her body or doing whatever she's doing. Is it a fair trade for their souls?
Well, see, that goes back to what somebody said with regard to being lazy.
Mhm.
If you're gonna go somewhere and you're looking for a relationship, they're looking for an easier way because anywhere you go and you want something real, you have to put that work in, no matter who it is, no matter where it is. If you want a real chick, or you know what I'm saying, like you're saying these cats want tradition, this and that. But the most Western thing, you're going to these traditional countries and getting the most westernized woman there, which is a
I
woman
agree.
selling box. A woman
Mhm.
selling box in these countries is the most westernized woman there. So why would you
Because I
block?
think it's right. So I think it's more than that, Cook. What I think it is, and I've always said this, when I used to see guys, especially the heavy set guys, you see them in Sasua. They've got a chick that's maybe a size 8. They're like 300 plus pounds. They've got their sweat towel over their shoulder, and they're waddling behind the chica. Right? You've seen them.
Yeah,
Now, for the most part, these guys are not getting the caliber of women, or like I like to say, the girl next door, the Hailey Berry. They might not be getting that back home, where they've come to a country where the chick looks like Hailey Berry. Not only does she look like Hailey Berry, she cooks, she cleans, and they have sex on tap. I think
but they're paying for that,
what's happening, and they exactly, but
and
I think
then
what's happening
you gotta
is
look at
that
that.
when they return home, they take the fantasy with them back home, not leaving the fantasy there.
Right.
Because they haven't been in that situation, it messes with their head. So they're back home. They're back home. They've just slept with the most beautifulest woman they've ever slept with. Next minute, this chick is hitting them up. Oh, I'm poor. And they might not be that geographically intellectual to know about countries and stuff like that. So if a chick's hitting them up for money, they're gonna willy-nilly just give it over. And I always said this, and I say it again. These guys that are sending money are emotionally involved. You have to care about someone in order to send money. You ain't sending money for a joke. You're sending money because you are emotionally involved with that person. That means you care about that person's well-being. I'm
I
telling
mean,
you.
100%, 100%. No, there's some guys
But
that
Big
just
yeah,
J,
yeah. I was gonna
Big
say,
J,
Let,
but let me go
let me
back to that.
now. Hold on,
That
hold on. Now, I'm not talking about if a guy's sending $10. Yeah, we all have home girls in different countries. We might send them a little $20. Here you go, look, hold that $20. Take your son to the cinema. We're doing that a lot. I ain't talking about that. That's not what I'm talking about. You guys know what I'm talking about. These guys that are selling $200, $300, paying rent, they are emotionally involved with these chicks.
I mean, to go. Let me go back to what you said with
Mm,
regard to the big dudes,
mm.
and this big dude following this fine chick or whatever.
You've seen them, Cook.
Yeah, yeah,
You've
yeah,
seen
absolutely,
them.
absolutely. But the
You've
thing
seen
is,
them.
with that,
TMI is one of them.
Hey,
shout out
shout
to
out to TMI,
TMI.
man.
Shout out to TMI. He saved me a lot of money one day. He found my phone for me. I left my phone somewhere and I ran back to the place. He was like, "You forgot this." So
Shout out to
I'm out.
TMI.
Shout out to TMI. That thing you said with regard to the big dude, what
Mm.
we need to understand is that is a reflection of their life. That is a reflection of them being a big dude and paying that. And they're lazy. When you see that, you see somebody that's lazy. That's somebody that don't get up and take care of themselves. It takes work. You got to put in work to take care of yourself. You got to put in work to be presentable to the chicks that you want on some organic stuff. If he could afford to pay for chicks in the States, he would be paying for chicks in the States. But he goes to another country, big dude like that. So that's just
But this is my point, Cook. I think these guys are actually looking for love. And I think because they can't get to that first base, they are willing to accept a chick that's giving them that attention. They're willing to accept that she is a pay for play. They are willing to accept that.
I think that's more.
can I say something? Listen,
Yeah, go ahead.
there was an incident in America a few years back. There was a governor from the state of South Carolina, Mark Sanford. He came up missing for a whole week, and everybody was like, "Where is he at? Where is he at?" They asked his family. His wife didn't know. Come to find out, he left the country and was on a rendezvous with a Brazilian chick in Brazil. Comes back and gets out, ends up divorcing his wife and being with the Brazilian chick. When it comes to a man and his comfort, his heart, and what pleases him, you'd be surprised what a person will do when they're not getting it here. And that's what I was saying. We got to be honest. The culture in America, when it comes to family, is
I
is
got you, Rico.
is
I got you.
degraded.
You next. I got you.
It's garbage.
So if you're not going to deal with that, then I don't think it's fair to say that when a man goes over to y'all saying Dominican Republic, goes to Dominican Republic, maybe the way he does it, maybe how over ego or how foolish he might be in doing it. But if you go over here and you're living there, that's another thing. BLB, I'm not telling anybody to bring a chick back over here from overseas.
Right.
If you're living there, then go ahead, make that move. If you're going there 6, 8 months out of the year, if you got to understand it with the lady you dealing with, but guess what? Newsflash: there's men in the Western societies who are being played by women, and they paying bills, and that woman lives with them, called their wife.
But
Go ahead,
let's look at
Rico.
it from a standpoint of pay for play women.
Oh,
What
God.
you're saying is, if I'm going to be living somewhere like that, and I'm trying to get a girlfriend or whatever, I'm trying to get some nice chick from the barrio that ain't never been to Sasua or whatever, and you know what I'm saying, ain't thinking about that. I see the humble lifestyle. I see a, just more of a simple situation. Do I,
I think they all been to Sosua, man.
I was going
That's
to
the
say
beach town.
there's a mindset that they all hoes or whatever the case may be.
No, but I know that. Listen, you've
It'll
been
Nah, I
there
don't
for
have
Hold
that
on,
long
hold on.
periods
mindset.
of time.
Easy,
I don't have
easy,
that
easy,
mindset, Cook.
easy, easy, easy. Rico's got to
Because
go.
I want to
Sorry,
give
Rico's
y'all
got.
a scenario. I want to give you a quick scenario. I'm in the state of Maryland right now, right? I'm a simp. I'm Rico Simp. I fucking moved to Tupelo, Mississippi, and I meet Miss Big Booty Betty, and she got 2 kids. And I said, I'm gonna go down there and I'm gonna get me some groovy booty, and I'm gonna take care of her 2 step kids. And I'm simp stepdaddy to Big Booty Betty with her 2 kids, right? But I'm taking care of Big Booty Betty and her 2 kids in Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Cook, smooth talking ass. I'm gonna use you as an example, Cook. Forgive me, right? He go to the DR. He met Big Booty Maria, who got 3 kids in the DR. Because believe it or not, we know they're all fucking single mothers. I'm sorry about the F-bomb. Sorry. They're all single mothers in the DR. We know that reality. Good luck finding one without a kid, if not
Facts.
2 or 3. That is just, I will send you guys an email where they talk about them starting to have children as young as 11, 12, and 13 and 14 years.
If I see a chick in the DR or whatever without no kid in these countries, I think something wrong with them.
So let me,
let me reset the game, Rico.
Right.
Let me reset the game. I'm sorry to cut your wisdom. Let me reset the game. I want to reset this and put this finally forever for everybody to consume. Mm-hmm. The Red Pill movement, Kevin Samuels and everybody else made these claims or these comments that you should not be going overseas or marrying wife with kids. I agree. If you don't have kids, if you got kids, you got, what's wrong with wifing up somebody that got some kids?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't see no problem with it.
Right.
Even if she got 2 kids by 2 different baby daddies?
Thank
I don't. If you got kids, the game's over. As soon as you have a baby, the game's over. Everybody is
facts. BLB facts. When I had my first son, I was like, my life is over. That's it. Fact. Here's the reality.
And if you don't want any more kids, go ahead.
Yeah, but here's the reality. You have a higher likelihood of dating a single mother overseas. And even when we're talking about like black women, because this is the problem that as black men, I want to smack the taste out of all y'all mouth. Stop thinking that black women, especially in America, are the worst for single motherhood. Brazil, 80-90%. Colombia, 80-90%. DR, 80-90%. These girls are having children at a rate far higher than they are in the hood in America.
But
And this
that's but you
narrative,
got to look at it from a standpoint.
no,
You
no,
got to
I'm
take it
saying
from a
that,
standpoint
No,
of
that's deeper. It's
that
deeper,
it,
Rico. That's
yeah,
deeper.
yeah, that's more of a
so,
survival thing for them.
but okay, I don't care what the reason is. What I'm
Right.
saying is your pool of available women without children gets lesser when you go overseas rather than greater. So if you're in America and you say, "Oh, I don't want a woman with kids. It's too many women with kids." When you go overseas, it drops. It doesn't get higher. You don't meet more women without children. You meet less women without children. So what are you doing?
But see,
I
a
agree.
lot of it is circumstance. A lot of it.
I don't care about
dudes
the
will put up. They'll put up with. If she was married, if she had two kids,
okay. Well, let me tell you this.
Or, it's certain
Let me tell you this. Okay,
Well,
let me tell you this.
Rico,
The marriage rate is lesser in the DR than it is in America.
Right. I'm using that as an example.
And the single mother rate
is higher.
And the single mother rate is higher. But let's be clear about this. Let's be clear about this Dominican situation.
Yes.
I'm not gonna absolve these women for doing what they do, but the Dominican, there is no country that has a higher infidelity rate than Dominican Republic. So let's be clear.
Or Colombia.
So these women are checking out. These women are checking out.
That's so. All I'm sitting there saying is all I'm saying is, as Kevin Sam used to say, if we're gonna level set the conversation between America and these countries, I think a lot of men are running overseas and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I'm like, y'all are stupid.
I'll tell you this right now.
To a place thinking it's better and it's not.
But hold on to that notion, Rico, because I think what you said, we're definitely going to get to that at the end of the show. So I don't want you to, I want you to come definitely back to that one.
Yeah, I'm going to say this right now.
Go ahead.
I understand where you're coming from with regard to the kids and stuff. And but in these countries, having kids is more of a in their mind is more of a survival thing, because they got to have somebody to take care of. They don't have SSI, they don't have all of that. But when it comes to that marrying thing, me personally, the only woman I will put a ring on is a Black American woman. As far as playing around or doing whatever, if I'm in another country, would I have a kid or do something like that? Maybe, but something as serious as, because marriage means money, and I got to have my money straight. Let me say this. No foreign kid messing up my, you know what I'm saying?
I disagree with you.
Something happened to me. Then what is this good woman going to be able to do for me?
But Cook, I'll give you one quick example, right? And I'm not even gonna mention the guy's name, right? There's a guy in Colombia, right? And it's funny, right? Because like I said, I don't know, Easy might have seen my wife, right? So like, I don't have a channel. I don't have a YouTube channel. Jay knows that. I've always supported YouTubers, but I don't want a fucking channel. I don't want to be this, right? I'm sorry, Jay. But
no, you go ahead.
So when I go out and people are like, oh, look at your wife. She ugly. She's a 5. I'm like, yeah, I'm a 5. I'm a 5. I love my wife. She's a 5. We're 2 5s just happy together. And he's like, oh, you got that ugly, right? Because he felt like he had a Colombian princess, right? And I'm like, I seen the girl you with that you stuck $5,000 in her mouth. She's a 5 too. You spent money to try to upgrade her. But here's the beauty of it, because see, I don't think purely on the aesthetic. I said, my wife made $95,000 last year. How much did your Colombian hooker make on her back? Because it wasn't 95K. No, it wasn't. No. It wasn't. Wow. Because the reality is, here's the reality, BLB. When you look for a partner, are you looking for an asset or a liability?
Right.
What are you looking for? You niggas always talking about money. So are you looking for an asset or a liability?
And that's why I said what I said with regard to Black women, because all my life, whenever I was down, whenever I lost my job, whenever I did this, we did that, Black woman never left my side.
That's
hold on, man.
But I'm not.
Black woman never. I'm seeing all getting left. They money get bad. Something go wrong in their life.
Like
never left me.
I'm not knocking Black women, and I won't do that because I come from Black women. But when you're wrong, you're wrong. I'm gonna tell you this. I don't care if she white, green, yellow. If
No.
she treat me good and I rock with her, she'll get a ring. That's a fact.
BLB,
Now,
BLB. My wife is not black. My wife is Salvadorian.
So there you go. So right now, right now in the United States, there is a war between black men and black women. We are not seeing eye to eye.
I didn't know that.
We're not seeing eye to eye, bro.
That shit is manufactured.
We not. No, it's not manufactured. I'm out in these streets right now.
Yes, it is.
I'm out here in these streets.
Manufactured.
You see me in the alley. This ain't a Colombian or Dominican alley.
Black chicks.
BLB.
Bro, it's not. It's not.
It's manufactured.
Hold on, BLB.
It ain't.
Hold on,
I'll tell you how it's manufactured.
I didn't mean to start the war. What I'm sitting there saying is the fact of the matter is, yes, I know that there are some difficulties, there's some problems. There's some problems on both sides of the equation. There's some problem on the black men's side. There's some problem on the black women's side. And again, like I said, and Easy knows my history. I've been married 3 times.
Yep.
I ain't been married once. This is my 3rd.
Yeah. I know.
And I'm always transparent about it. My first 2 wives were African American women. My 3rd wife is Salvadorian. And I always tell everybody, all 3 of my wives, ain't none of them listen to me. All of them took my money and did what the hell they wanted to do. They're the same. The reality is that there is a male-female dynamic and there are problems that exist culturally. I'm glad like all of my wives came from America. I never went overseas to look for a wife. So my black wives came from America. My Salvadorian wife came from America. They all had that American culture and idea that you're going to work, we're going to hustle, we're going to grind, we're going to do it together. So I could always appreciate, I wouldn't care what color the woman is in America. It's in America, we are about grinding and hustling.
But let me say this. I want to say this.
And if you don't get one, if you don't have an American woman, white, black, blue, green, Asian, whatever, that's hustling, get rid of her ass. Get rid of her.
They out here. Listen, there is no war between black men and black women. That's some stuff that's manufactured on social media.
On, bro. Come on.
There's not.
I disagree.
No,
I disagree with you.
Well, I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Go ahead. I disagree.
If you walk,
go ahead.
If you move, I'm not saying that in America, if you move around in professional circles, if you go to these college campuses, most of the people that black men are dating are black women.
90% plus.
That's a fact.
That's social media manufacturing.
That's
a psyop, bro.
Listen. And the reason I start with the black man, not only because we're men, and I believe that the man is the leader, it's also because the black man is the most sought after man in American society. Whether the woman is cheating with him, whether she wants to be in a relationship with him, if she just wants the man to come through and tap it. Ain't that right, Rico? The black men is the most sought after society.
Easy. We're still straying away from the subject. We're still.
All right. Well, let me get back on the subject.
Nah, don't let him walk off.
Let me let him walk off like that. Checking the fix, he would rather have a kid overseas, but he would only put a ring in American women because marriage means money. But what I'm saying is, if it's a child overseas or whatever, I have more control over the situation, and obviously, it's going to be less money.
That's very true.
If
I know, but it's true. It's true.
If I do it in the United States, it's going to be a woman that's like, how do they say, equally yoked? You know what I'm saying? Because marriage is a business. You don't have to license. Marriage, you got to. It's us against the world. We got to do this. We got to.
And let's be
finances is straight. So me personally,
Easy, chill out. I gotta get you. Hold on, Easy.
Me personally, you didn't even talk about child support. You didn't even talk about child support.
Yeah.
Nah.
You said nothing about child support.
I have to stick a pin in it because we're straying away from the whole subject matter. So
I'm responding to the message to check and effects message right there.
Hey, Big J, we're gonna do a part. You're not gonna let. We're doing a part 2, right? We're doing a part 2 to this.
We're not gonna let Easy walk away and say,
well, this is the
there is
question
not a war
because
there is a war between us black men and black women.
It's not a war, bro.
But we're gonna leave that to next time.
What do we mean by war? What do we mean by
we have to leave that to next time, brothers, because we're straying away from
Yeah,
the
that's a good
subject.
subject.
So
Is there a war
that's
between
a
us?
different subject
Yeah, that's a whole
altogether.
different.
Right.
Yeah.
So
All right, bring
Easy
us
was
back,
the
Jay.
only
Bring us,
Easy.
reel us in.
We have to reel back. So Easy, he was saying, I asked everybody on the panel, is can love flourish for the pay for play? I asked every one of you individually. You said no, you can't do it. Easy was the only one to say yes, he can. I want
He's a
to
simp.
know.
I'm a what? I'm a what? What's your old ass say?
The only word that fits.
Oh, a tip, a tip, a tip.
Yeah.
Listen, let me clarify. Let me clarify.
So
What
hold
you
on,
listen,
easy,
Please.
please,
easy. Let me
listen. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Let me clarify.
listen. I haven't finished.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna let you talk. Obviously, the
All
question's for
right.
you, so I'm
I
gonna let you talk.
overstand. I
So, okay,
overstand.
good. So, you was the only one that said. Now, I haven't given my disposition there. I will do, but you was the only one that said that you can wife a Walker. I want to know why. I just want to know why. How can you do it, knowing that and yes, we can argue and say you can be a normal woman that's a 9 to 5. She's out there sleeping with Tom, Dick, and Harry. Fair enough. But I just want to know, knowing what she is, knowing what you got to lie down and then make it your girlfriend. How can you do it? How do you do it?
Well, remember how I started my monologue? Let's be honest. So let's be honest. Let's be honest. There's plenty of people doing the same thing here in America. They meet a chick, whether it's at college campus, and she's stripping for a living, or she's getting slammed as well for a living in the back room in the VIP room. There's women who got all right jobs, but New York City is very expensive. And guess what? They getting smashed for a price to make the ends meet. They doing that in America. So now you tell me a person can't go overseas to Colombia, meet a
Hold
nice
on,
young lady.
easy. Hold on,
No, man. Wait a minute, man.
hold on. I will let you go, Cook. I will let you go. I will let you
No,
go.
listen, because the way you saying it, listen to what I'm saying. The way
What you
that's why
talking
I say
about, Willis?
the way your question was approached. To me, what I'm saying is you could meet a woman who used to be out there selling her body, and then
Oh, okay. So
you know what I'm saying?
let me change the question then. Let me change the question because you're in Sasua. You're in. Let me rephrase that because I don't want to make out like you just go Sasua because that's wrong. I don't want to give that impression.
Well, you
You're
know
in
how I move,
DR.
so
Hold on. That's what I'm saying. You're in DR a lot, right? You traveled there a lot. You've been traveling there for years. So the question I want to pose to you: you meet a chick knowing that she is a veteran on that street, you are willing to lay down with that woman and caress that woman. That's what you're telling me.
what I'm telling you is it don't have to be South Sudan. You can
No, no,
go to
no.
DR.
No, we're
Let me
not gonna
finish.
play. We're
Let
not.
me
No, no,
finish.
no.
We don't
Come
want you
on,
to get off
if you let
track.
me answer your question,
Let's deal
let me
with what
answer
it
your
is.
We don't
question.
Listen.
want you to get off track.
No, I'm not going to get off
Exactly.
track if you let me
Thank you.
answer the question.
Thank you.
Let me answer the
Thank you.
question. I'm not going to get off track. I
Let
know
the
what he's
man
saying.
cook. Let the man cook.
Yeah, thank you. Listen, let me turn the heat up on this. You can go to Puerto Plata or you can go to La Union,
Oh
and a chick
Jesus.
could say, she's selling it, 5,000 pesos. You say 3,000, she say 5, then you come to 4. Now you smash, you roll out. You see the next time you smash a few more times. You say,
Bro, you're
oh, you know what?
filibustering.
I'm,
You're
I'm,
I'm
I'm,
filibustering
filibustering.
right now.
Jay,
let
can
me
I
land
ask
this
you?
plane. I want
Jay,
this plane. I want to see this plane land, please.
I want to ask you two questions.
Let's see
Two
what you're talking
questions,
about,
Jay.
man.
Hold on, Cook.
Yeah.
Hold on, Cook.
They won't
Hold
let
on,
Land
me
that
answer.
in.
I can't
Just
answer
Hold
the
on.
question.
easy.
I
Hold on,
can't
hold on,
answer
Land
the
hold
that
on.
question.
plane in
I
Newark
can't answer the
or
question.
JFK
You
Hold on,
know,
or
hold on.
What?
easy. Hold on,
Easy.
hold on,
I'm
hold on,
going
hold
to
on.
make it succinct and simple.
No,
So
hold on.
body
Oh,
count doesn't matter to you.
no,
Does
let
it
him
matter
land.
in
No,
America?
no, no. Stop, stop.
Does it
So
matter in
body
America?
count doesn't matter.
All right,
Does the body count matter
Does
in
the body
America?
count
easy,
matter? Yes or no?
easy. Hold on,
anywhere?
Does
hold
the
on, hold
body
on,
Huh?
count matter in America?
hold on,
Any,
So
hold on.
body
anywhere.
count.
Easy,
Wait,
Anywhere.
easy.
hold on, Jay. Hold on, Jay. It's
Anywhere.
something real simple. Body count matters in America, but nowhere else.
No, it don't matter in America. Is my point.
So body count doesn't matter to you.
No.
But we ain't talking
Okay,
about
okay,
body
okay.
count though.
No,
This is what
because
I'm
he's
saying.
No,
We're
you're
not
talking
talking
about
But
about
Big
body
J,
count.
you are.
that's essentially what we're
Because
talking about.
Because you're
No.
talking
Listen.
no, Jay, you're talking about a
There's a
working
difference
girl.
between hold on.
Listen.
There's a
No,
difference
Big J
between
talking
Body
about something
count from
different.
body count
hold on.
from
Let me
Go
sales.
ahead, Big
because
J.
maybe
No,
Body
but
count
Jay,
from
Big
sales.
Jay, Big
let me
Jay.
restore. Let me restore order.
Go ahead, Big J.
Order. Right. Hold on. Let me restore order. Right. We are not talking about body count. That's
Yes,
not
we
what
are.
we're
Go
talking
ahead.
about.
Yes, we are.
Hold on.
Yes,
Well,
we
I mean, I see what you're saying, G. I see what you're saying.
hold on.
Regardless if
Let
it's
me.
once or
We can't.
1,000, she
Hold
sold
on.
it.
Hold on.
So whether it's
Right.
one or
Hold on.
1,000, so she
Hold on.
Yeah,
sold
what,
Hold on.
something.
Big J?
That's
What
what
happens
you're
if
saying,
she
Big
did
J.
it? What happens if she did it one time?
Hold on.
That's why
Hold
he's saying
on.
it don't matter.
See, and
Wait.
that's another
That's why
subject
he's saying
altogether.
body count don't
I
matter.
had a second question.
That's why he said body
Go
count
ahead.
don't matter.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
But I want to get to easy. We are not. So let me just say for one, we are not dealing with body count. We all listen. Thousands of women from America go to Jamaica to get their spine dug out.
Keep going.
Yep.
Right? So let's keep that 100. So yes, there are women out there that have got body count.
Yes.
Matter of fact, if you ask a woman how much men have you slept with, they're never going to tell you the truth.
And
Yes.
Because the only thing
that's
that
why
they count
you're right about that.
is the only thing that they count is the relationships or the guy that they was dating.
Yes.
Nah,
They'll
Big
never
J.
tell you about the guy from the nightclub they took
There's
home. So
always a
let's
way.
get that up
There's
front.
always a way to tell if her body count is high from the
Right.
state.
So we're not
If I'm
talking
hitting
about.
it, if I'm
Hold
hitting
on.
it and I love it and it feels good, you damn sure somebody is calling her phone or
Right.
checking for it.
Oh,
But
this
consistently.
that
guy
don't
here,
mean
man.
it's
Yeah.
You're a
500.
big
That
stereotype,
don't
bro.
mean it's
You're a big
500 people
stereotype.
calling.
Hold on. So let's just get it clear. We are not talking about body count. We can
Okay.
go back to it, but we are not talking about body count. What we are talking about is a woman going out there. I don't care if you want to pick Sasua, if you want to pick Copacabana, if you want to if you want to pick Ocho Rios, if you want to pick Montego Bay. I don't care. Pick a place. Hold on.
Jay, go ahead.
Hold on. Let me
Okay,
cook.
go ahead. Go
Right?
ahead. Go ahead.
Because I let everybody talk. Right? We are talking about a woman that goes out and sells her body. Now,
Mhm.
Easy is obviously he travels to the Dominican Republic a lot. Now, grant for Easy goes everywhere. He doesn't just stay in Sasua. He goes to a lot of places. The question was posed to him is, can he be in a relationship with a prostitute? He said yes. I'm trying to find out why. Why would you do that to yourself? So
No.
Easy can, but that was the question. I
No, I think
asked
the question
everybody
was, listen, I think the question was, could you be in a relationship with a woman who was a
paid
prostitute?
for play. So
That's
what is
what
paid for
BLB was
play?
saying.
Jay, can I have
No, but hold on.
no, I got a bone to pick
Time
with
out.
you.
Time out.
With
Hold on.
you.
Why would you date somebody and she's still
No,
a
go
prostitute?
ahead.
You understand what I'm saying? If you move to Colombia, if
No,
you
my
move to
bone.
Colombia, if you move to Colombia,
Hold on,
Let
Easy.
me.
okay.
My bone to pick with you, Jay, is that you're trying to separate body account from a fucking pay to play.
We're
No,
gonna get to that.
Stop, Jay.
We're
Stop,
gonna
Jay.
get to that.
But
Hold that.
hold on. My bone to pick with you is you're specifically telling me and BLB and Cook, oh, we're gonna separate. Like, no, you cannot separate body count from pay. Excuse me, from a woman who by definition, her job is to rack up a fucking body count. By definition,
That's how she make her money.
But see, okay, I see what Jay is saying. What Jay is saying is
hold on for a
it
second.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because
Hold
I
on.
didn't say
he
that.
does
I
that.
didn't say that.
Hold
I
on
didn't
for
say
1
that.
second.
The body
I
count
said
don't matter because that's
But I'm
already we already know she's.
I'm gonna tell you why I cook. I'm a trafficker. I grab me a fresh young virgin off the streets of Mexico, wherever the fuck I get her from. My job is to put that bitch on the stroll and to rack up a body count. Don't come home until you get my number. And the only way you can get my number is through bodies. Period. The definition of what these women do is body count. if they're not running up their body count, they're not even doing what the fuck by definition we say that they do. So in other words,
I interpreted it as listen, this is how I interpret it. I interpret it as it doesn't matter because there's a count. It doesn't matter what the count is. We know
that's not true, Cook. Because I've met women that have had their first day on the streets and never had a client.
Yes,
this is their first day.
Then you
what?
That
I never what?
She lied.
Never had clients. Her first,
and I'm gonna say that.
Her first day on the stroke.
I'm gonna say that because just like you can't determine her body count if it's 500.
No, I didn't say
you can't determine her body count if it's one because they gonna lie anyway.
Hold on,
yeah, they made
you couldn't
you can read through the line.
I said the purpose of it is body count, and only as easy does body count matters. That's it. You can never guess a working girl's body count. You can never do that.
But we're talking about working girls.
Exactly.
No.
We're talking about working girls.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. The body count doesn't matter. She's a working girl.
Everybody, hold on.
Thank you.
Everybody, hold on. Big J, this question is for you.
Yes, sir.
Right? Verified information. It's true. She has 1 day on the job. She's walking around Sosua. You know new girls that walk around Sosua.
What does verified mean?
Hold on. Verified, like somebody, like you have an access. Hold on, Cook. We're talking a hypothetical. You have access to the truth of what she really do. Her friend, homegirl, told her to come up there, get some money. She got some problems at home. She slid up there on that Caribe Express for the Caribe tours for the first day. She runs into you. You sit, you chop it up with her. You have a good time with her. You start to like her personality. And then you hang out with her for the time that you're there. Then you take her off the streets. You're a man of means. You got money. So here, go back home. Don't come back up here because you know Sosua. If you see one, you're going to see her again later on. It's the stroll. So you know. Here is how the vetting about these pros. You go to the veteran pros. Have you ever seen Shorty around here anymore? Have you ever seen this Shorty around here? You can ask these questions. These hoes are going to tell you. But I'm saying,
why would you ask a question?
Hold on.
Wow.
I always ask questions. I'm gonna tell you why I always ask. Say, hold on, let me answer you easy. The reason why I always ask questions, because I don't want the famous girl. If I'm gonna pick a mango off the tree, I want one with the lowest mileage possible, or I'm not gonna do it.
Because they all got mileage. Right? B.O.B. all got mileage.
We can't play this game and try
the lowest one. Every car in a used car lot. Hold on. Every car in a used car lot. Every car in a used car lot has mileage. What you go? You pick the one with the high joints? No, you pick the one with the lowest miles.
Because the mileage is written. The mileage is on the odometer. You can't. There's no coochie odometer.
I don't know, guys. I don't know what you guys do, but I speak Spanish, so I have in-depth conversation with these girls.
You can have in-depth conversations. No, listen. You can have in-depth conversations.
They can lie. They're lying to you in Spanish.
No. The only question.
You don't. B.O.B. You lying to yourself.
Hold on, B.O.B.
I have to mute the part. Yeah.
They're lying to you in Spanish. Habla mentira español.
No, but Cook. The only question I asked Easy was, does body count matter? Right. I didn't say what it was. Right, does it matter or not?
Right.
If it doesn't matter,
let's bring it back. No one's saying nothing. Let's bring it back. The subject is, and this is what we keep talking about body count. The subject is the pretty woman effect.
That's what I asked you, Big
Hold
J.
on, you're not letting me talk. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Can love flourish with a pay for play? We are
Thank you. I asked you, would you take that girl on her first day? First day.
No, I'm gonna get you,
marry her.
Please, hold that. Please hold.
Now we're to marriage. Now we're to marriage.
Hold on. We are talking about pay for plays. We all know what that is without saying the word. We have to stay on subject. We ain't gonna talk about. Yes,
I'm gonna keep it simple for you, Jay. Big J, let me say this one thing. If you paid a chick for sex, would you lock her down?
Is that
Me?
a question to me?
Everybody.
No.
If you pay
No.
her, huh?
No.
Okay, so why you worried about her first day on the job? Because her first day on the
Thank
job,
you.
you're gonna pay.
Cook, it's a
Thank
nuance.
you.
There's a
It
thing
Thank
don't
called.
matter.
you.
Hold on,
You're
hold on, hold
gonna
on.
pay.
I
You're
am.
gonna
Hold
Thank
pay.
you.
on, hold on,
Cook,
hold on.
You're
thank
gonna
you.
pay.
Hold on.
But Cook,
Let me rebut.
thank
You're
you,
gonna
Cook.
pay.
Thank you, Cook.
Hold
Thank
on,
you,
fellas.
Thank you for being
Let me
honest,
rebut
Cook.
this.
Thank
Let me
you, Cook.
rebut this. There is the thing called nuance. I'm gonna require y'all to get. I'm gonna require y'all to hire your education in this conversation because it's required. It's a thing called nuance.
Hold on a minute.
When I say the word nuance, and I'm not taking no shots at y'all, it's a thing called nuance. The nuances is there are certain situations where a shorty just got on the stroll and a guy takes her up off the streets. She has
Right.
no experience. There's no bodies behind her that is known. There's nobody that can point to her and say, yo, I've been with this. We have group chats for a reason. Have you seen this girl around? No. Have you seen this? The girls over there got group chats for a reason. Have you seen her around? So yes, in situations like that, nuances, if she is a working girl, a pretty woman girl, I can see how a guy plucks her off the streets and go about his business.
So B.O.B., what was your question to me? What was your question to me?
That if you met a girl,
Right.
and you know for a fact, you have all the evidence, you have all the data that says, yeah, she's telling the truth. This is her first day on the streets. She treats you amazing. She's telling you she don't really want to even be there. All this other stuff, which she could be lying, but you got the verified data. Would you take her off the street?
Let me just so I understand what you're saying. So I've met this chick in Colombia. This is her first day on wherever. The first day on the job. Right? She hasn't slept with anybody yet. I'm her first client.
Yeah.
Right. I paid, done the deed. She's crying out eyeballs out to me, telling me that she don't know what. Nah, bro, I can't. I'm not. Me personally, bro. Hold on. Let me answer the man's question. Me personally, bro, I can't do it.
What if she gives you the money back?
Nah. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you. You know what? Let me tell you why.
You got a refund.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm nothing special. That could have been anybody.
Maybe she vibed with you. That's the same thing with any girl you meet off the streets. You just vibe.
So let me ask you this question, Jay. Here's the better question: is this? The question is, what advice should me, BLB, you too easy because you a fucking veteran. You live and die in Sasua, right? Veterans of the space, right? So, act like you know newbie because you ain't.
Listen, I live and die in Dominican Republic. I've never been to Sasua. I don't know what Sasua is.
Bullshit.
Put me in Cabarete.
He's full of shit.
Put me in Cabarete.
I don't know you, Cook, so I'm not gonna say, but I'm gonna hold on.
That dude got a villa named after him over there.
Okay. So what I'm saying is what advice should we give? So basically, I tell young men, like, look, when you go to whether it's Sasua, Santo Domingo, same shit. It's just at a different scale. Punta Cana, same shit. It's just at a different scale. Because the same thing that's up in Sasua is in Santo Domingo, Santiago, Punta Cana, La Romana. It's all over the country. It's
be honest, yes.
It's at different levels and a lot nicer to look at. I promise you that. But I promise you that. But it's the same thing. So what I'm sitting there saying is the advice that should be given to young men is like, go enjoy yourself. What I try to tell them is that we talk about, again, so Jay, you asked the question about the pretty face. So my question comes back to, what's the value of a pretty face? Because we have people act like, this is the thing I get frustrated. Like, people are, oh, they're so fucking beautiful in Colombia. I'm like, do you guys realize some of the most beautiful women on the planet are in America?
Yes, amen.
I'm sitting there saying, like, what the fuck are you talking about? There's nothing I can see in Colombia that I can't go to Miami or Santa.
I've been telling you B.O.B. for the
they
longest
are, but no, they're not everywhere.
Rico, you don't have access to those women.
But okay, but what I'm saying, but
no. So let me say this, B.O.B. What if
And
those
I
chicks are
Hold on,
also
let
requiring
Rico
you to
land.
pay?
Let Rico land
so
first, and then
that's
we'll
what
go
I'm
to you.
saying is the
Keep that
issue.
question easy.
The issue is not, is it there, the access. So I understand that, okay, I don't have
So they
access,
selling it too in
right?
America.
Which is fine,
Oh,
which is fine. I
facts.
understand.
But
I
it's
don't
fine for
have
the women in America to
access,
sell it though.
which is fine. I don't have access to that chicken LA,
That's what he said.
Las Vegas. I get that. But then why do I have access to it over there? So if I don't have access to it here because of this, that's the same fucking reason why I got access to it over there because of this. It's
So what
still,
the
it
no,
still
Rico.
comes down. No.
Hold on, easy. Hold on,
It's
easy.
still
Hold
Come
on,
on,
easy,
man.
because we gotta let.
down
No,
to,
hold on, man. Hold on.
it's
But you
still,
don't let me finish my point.
well, I'm just gonna say this. It's like,
I'm gonna get back to you. Trust me.
all I'm
I've
saying
got to let Unc speak
is that
because
in America, we all understand we don't have the financial access to have access to the most beautiful women in the country in America because the cost of living in America or London. You know that too, Jay, right? But we can go to a lesser country and our income will put us in that place, in that position. So
Sorry,
when
You
I
guys
guys.
are missing. You're missing
Listen.
things.
Hold on.
You're missing
oh,
things.
okay,
Before
I'm
you
missing
go,
it. Sorry.
guys, we're
Oh,
still.
everybody is.
Hold on. We're still straying away from the subject of hand. Unks, are you there?
All right.
I'm here, man. I'm just listening to the
Yeah.
commotion, bro.
We're still we're straying away
Okay,
from the
pretty woman,
subject. We keep
pretty
on.
woman.
No, hold on a minute, Unks. I'm gonna let you cook. We are straying away from the subject. We're talking about black women in America. We're talking about this. We're talking about that. No, the subject at hand is the pay for play. Would you wife a pay for play? Why are brothers doing it? We're trying to get to the seed of
Big
why
J.
brothers are doing it.
Big
Hold on,
J.
hold on, hold on,
Those are
POP.
the part. Those are why. Those are reasons why, big brother. They are why.
I don't think there is why. We're straying too far afield.
So
We need to bring it.
what would make a guy leave
Mhm.
Tottenham to go to DR to then
Mhm.
deal with women, or make a guy leave Paris, France to go to
Well, my
Colombia?
situation, my situation.
In general, not yours, but in general.
Okay.
In
Just
general,
because she pretty. Only
what would
because
make
she
these
pretty.
guys go over there? There's something that they're lacking from where they are. The availability of what they like and what they want is not available to them, so they go overseas. These are
You're
the
missing a
reasons
factor.
why.
Hold up. Yo,
Okay,
That's
Jay, can
not
I say
always
something?
Unks.
true.
Hold on,
That's
Jay, can
not
I say
true,
Unks.
something?
BLB.
Hold on.
BLB, that's not true.
Can I
Hey,
say something?
easy. Unks
Can I
has
say
been
something?
waiting for the longest while. Go ahead.
The title of this is Pretty Woman, right? You use Pretty Woman as an example, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How old was Richard Gere in the picture?
Who was Richard
Mm.
Gere?
Yeah,
Oh,
Right? No, 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 no,
60s
no. I don't
in
want
the
you.
movie,
Now, I
right?
don't want you to tell me his age. What
oh,
I'm doing is giving you a dynamic.
He was
all right.
old and
You-
Julia Roberts
She
was
was
young.
young.
Yes.
Mhm.
There's your dynamic right there. You're not getting the same woman in United States at that age. A 40-year-old white woman is washed up,
Washed up, washed up.
okay, wrinkled up
Well,
and everything, unless she's in the gym, right?
if her
And you
credit
can
is
say
good.
the same, and you can say the same thing for a lot of the minority women, also. So I listen. I'm not sugarcoating nothing. I got 8 sisters, and I scream at them all day. You need to get in the gym. You need to get in the gym because if you don't look like nothing, you ain't got nobody, and you got to settle. It's the same thing for the dudes and everything else. That's part of the pretty woman
Part of it.
syndrome. That's part of what goes on overseas. It's the dynamic, like everyone is saying. You're looking at something, you're falling for it. She's delivering you something that you're not getting where you're at, and that's the dynamic to the whole thing. Now, should you marry her? That's your choice. It's not
Very
something
true.
that a lot of dudes on this panel won't do, and it may be some things down the line that some dudes on this panel may have to do. Because if you're in the United States and you're getting older, the chances of you finding someone that's going to take care of you if you don't have money is slim to none. And you can believe it or you ain't got to. All you got to do is look around you and you're going to see it every day. You got dudes 60 and 70 years old, get their wives are leaving them.
Yep. Tell the truth.
They're
Tell the
Let
truth.
leaving
him
them.
Marry.
cook. Let him cook. Let him cook. Let him cook.
That's very
No,
true.
they're leaving them right now. So that's part of the pretty women syndrome. These dudes, he got over there, and I'm gonna talk about the picture. He got over there. He found something that he liked. It fit what he was looking for in his mentality. If it's gonna go wrong, then it's gonna go wrong on him. It's not gonna go wrong on me.
Mm.
Dudes are getting on these planes, Jay, and it still goes back to the beginning of everything. And they're checking everything that they know about vetting females and everything when they get on these planes. And then they want to get mad when it don't turn out the way they want. But it's your fault.
But can,
That's a good question.
the question I have to ask is, and I put it in the
Yeah.
private chat.
Yeah, I saw that, Rico. Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead. Go
because
ahead.
again, because
Yeah, Rico.
the results is, and I can go with what they want. Now I have to look at what's the results, because when I look at the results of older men and younger women overseas, it's not a pretty fucking picture.
No, okay. Let me answer that, Rico. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
Let me ask you a question, Rico.
Just based on the results, because I'm not in one of them. I know a lot of guys that older men, and
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Okay.
This is the thing with a lot of dudes right now. And I got some family members that's going to go through that problem. Us as minority men
Yes.
don't understand legacy.
Yes.
We don't even understand blood trails. Your daughter cannot drive your bloodline forward.
Okay.
Only your sons can. And a lot of
Yep.
dudes leaving, a lot of these dudes leaving out of the United States don't have kids.
Facts.
But my question is this: but my question, and I'm gonna ask you the same question I asked Jay and Bob again. What are we teaching guys? So again, everybody's telling guys just go overseas, and they don't say nothing else, right? Like fucking going overseas is the magic fucking answer. And
No,
again,
well,
you're talking about bloodline. You're talking about this.
Okay, let me answer that. Let me answer that for you, because Jake, I don't really have to answer it. Jake can answer it for you. I have kept the same concept, and Bob can answer it, because I've been on panels with Bob before. I've kept the same concept when it came to going overseas from day one. Haven't I, Jay? Haven't I, Bob? I've kept the same concept. Haven't I, Cook? I kept the same concept.
I'm sorry I had to go. I had to handle something with my aunt. But when I left, my question was, if you pay, will you wipe it? And I heard you say, what if she give it back? I missed everything. All that nonsense. All that, what if you give it back nonsense.
Yeah, that was the Jay. That was the Jay.
Hold on, Cook. Now, I'm going to answer you. No, I wouldn't do it. I was giving him an example of something an idea, just the thought process of a guy, let's name him Ron, that first time over there, he meets somebody and she's a solid shorty, but she just got caught up in the game. And it's her first time and he wants to take off the streets. I mean, will we be mad at her? Will we be mad at him for taking off the streets if she ain't really never even put a toe in the streets? But
he's paying.
To unks, yeah, but to unks, well, I mean, guys, some guys look at it in the United States, you paying whether you with somebody or not. You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying you would do this? You're saying you would do this?
No, I definitely definitively said no, I would not. Okay. Right? But
because we know that it happens. We're just trying to get the mindset.
So the mindset. And so this is where, guys, and I'm sorry for talking so much, but this is where I think Big J don't really get the full picture. Everything that we spent off to, and yes, we did stray. Everything is appropriate to the subject, because you got to understand why. You got to understand why guys feel this way and why they would even entertain a female that has high mileage and charges for her services. Why would they entertain bringing her into their lives, right?
Because we're simple creatures, bro. We're simple. We like what we see.
Not all of us. I need a little bit more.
If they don't
to
hit us off the rip, we don't need a chick money. We don't need none of that. We need our immediate reaction is, look at this body. Look at this. Look at this, that. And then they go from there.
If you go to a strip club and she fine, and she tells you she only doing this because she only been working there a week, and she doing this because she got to pay for her tuition so she can finish up college, you gonna talk to her?
Nah, not me. But I can understand why guys do. Not me.
What kind of simp story you just came up with? That was a real simp story.
No, that was the story. That was the story from the 90s. That was the story from the 90s.
He was like,
She going to
he told
college.
that story too, boy.
Like, what the fuck?
Well, he dodged. He said, "Oh, not me."
Listen,
Oh,
So,
not
so,
me.
listen.
so,
This is what I'm talking about. Listen, no. This is what I'm talking about when I say be honest. You call it a simp story, but that happens a lot in America.
Man, that don't happen a lot.
Dudes,
but easy.
you're
That
lying.
many stupid
You're
people
lying.
in America.
You're
Easy.
lying.
Let's get back to
There's plenty
easy.
of dudes.
Let's get back to
There's
easy.
plenty of dudes.
You would
Easy.
do it easy. You would do that easy.
Listen, I have dated a stripper before, many times. I like them.
Easy.
And you believe
They
that
honest
story?
creatures.
Hold on.
They don't have to give me.
Would
Listen,
you wife the
they
stripper?
don't have to give
I
me
messed with
a
Hold
strippers.
on.
story.
Easy.
I
Easy.
messed with
Time out.
strippers
Time
too.
out for a second. Time out for a second.
Yeah, so let's not act like that.
Easy. I asked you because I know Rico came and put a spanner in the works. Right. So the question was easy, and let me make it plain. Would you wife a prostitute? I want to hear about women in America. I want to hear about women in Europe.
Right.
I want to hear about. I want to hear enough. Hold on. Right. You can answer it in your own way, but please do not straight off. Would you marry a prostitute or wife it?
Yes.
You will be. So hold on. So let me get it. So
We're not
pretending-
talking about. We're talking about. Listen. Hold on.
hold on.
A former. You're probably thinking a former one.
No,
Nah,
I'm
talking about somebody you had.
No. She turned the trick yesterday. She turned the trick yesterday.
No. Let's not make it.
No. You're a trick.
Look at y'all.
You're a trick, easy. No, yesterday. You're the current trick. You're paying. You're about to pay. You're about to pay. And you would lock her down.
Hold on.
Listen.
Let me make it more clear.
Can I answer it?
Easy.
Can
Hold
I
on.
make it plain?
Easy.
Can I make it
Easy.
plain?
You
Stop.
can make it
I'm
plain.
making
After
plain.
this, easy.
Let me make it plain.
Easy.
Let me make it plain.
Easy.
I'm
Hold on,
about to
easy.
this guy here.
Easy. I'm not
You
judging
won't
you
let
on
me
it.
give it to you.
No.
Then after you,
Hey, pause on that, man.
Not.
No, pause. No, you can't give me nothing, brother. Pause on that, man. Why for that?
What are you talking about?
You give me nothing, bro. Why is it?
Giving you what?
Listen. Hold on. No, you said you're gonna give it to me, bro. Why for that? Still. But listen.
No, I didn't say that. I said I was going to make it plain myself. You don't have to ask the question. I just said yes. I gave you a one-word answer.
Right.
So let me explain it. You said I can answer any way I want.
It is. Take us through this.
Let me answer. If I met a chick, and I have done this, met a chick who was stripping, going to the parties or whatever. No, they selling pussy. Going to the party for years, fuck. I paid the fuck. And then I see her again. Hey, what up? How you been? What's going on? Oh, my birthday. Let's go out. Let's hang. Let's chill. And then one thing leads to another, and we dating. I've done that.
You're still filibustering. Listen.
Hold
on. Let me talk. Time out. I'm talking.
I answered your question.
Hold on. Right, the host is talking. Right, okay, you answer the question. So the host is talking now. Hold on.
I just answered the question.
Hold on.
Holy shit.
Hold on. Easy. Let me make it simple.
Selling box.
Hold on. Let me make it simpler for you.
Huh?
So easy. Listen. Right now, we're in, and I'm just picking a place, right? Doesn't have to be, but I'm just picking Sasua because you are in DR, right? You've seen a chick. She's drop dead gorgeous. She's beautiful. Everything that you visualize, she has it. But you know that she's still on the roads doing her thing. You know you've seen her out with different man them taking it back to the hotel and doing what they got to do. Hold easy. I'm making it as raw as possible. But you
can't make it as real as I can make it.
Easy. You keep on talking. Hold on, easy. Stop. Just listen. Because the thing is, you're talking about strippers and no. I'm giving you this scenario so I know where you stand. We talking
about box sellers.
Yes, bro. That's what they do at the parties in the underground. They're selling
No. We're not talking about possible. We're talking about
it's not possible.
Box
those were the parties. Cook. Those were the parties.
Listen,
I understand.
Hold on. Time out. I have to pause everybody.
There's a difference between dancing naked for a living and
I'm not 5 years
knocking
old.
down glizzies for a living.
Easy. Listen. Easy.
They were selling bots at the party.
I
Easy.
understand that,
Easy.
but
Listen.
that's something else. I'm talking about a
Exactly.
straight up box seller.
Exactly.
Like somebody, like you're walking down the street.
Easy.
You're walking down the street, and somebody be like, somebody see your girl and be like, Sapphire, is that you? You know, how you doing? You still, you know what I'm saying? You still got that deep ass throat, or
And she on her knees.
you still, you know what I'm
And
saying?
she on her knees.
You walking
And
with
this is why we can't have a
pickle hide.
serious adult conversation about
This
this.
is
This is
serious. What are you
serious. This
talking
is
about?
Y'all
serious.
devolve into
This
this
is
type of
serious.
Easy.
adolescence.
I'm
Easy.
not
Listen.
talking about a
Easy.
glamorized. I'm not talking about a glamorized
No, we ain't
stripper.
glamorizing.
I'm
We
not
ain't
talking about
glamorizing
Lisa.
ish.
I'm
I'm
not
not
talking about Lisa
glamorizing.
Ray. We're not talking about Lisa Ray
It's a Ray.
in
I'm
the
not
stripper
glamorizing. You
movie.
having fun. I didn't say that. You said
We're
that. That's
talking
what's in
about.
your mind.
We're talking
Okay,
about
let me
I'm
that.
let, let
talking.
me
Wow.
let me finish what I'm saying. Let me finish what I'm saying. Easy.
Holy
Easy.
snap!
Easy. Listen. Please just don't stray away. Don't
No, don't
filibust.
say that.
Don't
I
hold on.
answered your
Easy.
question. I said
Easy.
yes.
Easy.
Did I
Easy.
not?
Easy. Wait.
I said
Wait.
yes.
Wait.
He good with it.
Wait.
He good with it.
Easy. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I'm not trying to embarrass. I'm not trying. No, I don't have a. I'm trying
You
to
can't embarrass me.
overstand. Oh
I can't. You
Jesus.
can't embarrass
Can
me.
I finish?
Other dudes
Can
will
I
lie about
finish?
it. I'm gonna be right up
Can I?
about it.
Right. Okay. So can I finish what I'm saying now
You asked me
as the
already, and I
host?
said yes.
Right. So can I finish what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
Thank you very much, sir. So I'm talking about anyway. Listen, you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, we went through that, bro.
Right. Okay. So you will still, and please, no one talk. There's a question because I'm trying. You will still wifey that person, knowing that it's got multiple. But remember, we're staying on subject with
You making
wife
this hard,
beater.
bro.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Thank you. We're staying on subject. We don't want to hear about strippers. We're staying on subject of brothers going overseas, not brothers in America, not brothers in New
Got it.
York.
Going overseas, Colombia, Thailand, Dominican Republic. Got it.
Right. Okay. Right.
Doesn't
Going
matter where.
overseas. Hold
Go
on.
ahead.
And wifeying these chicks that are out there selling their body. I'm saying to you, coming from America, you will go to a next country to wifey a chick that is selling her body at now in this present time, and you will get with her in a relationship. That's what you're saying.
I answered that question already, man. This is
You
frustrating.
didn't. You were
Jay,
I
filibustering.
did.
Well, just
No, I
ask it
didn't. I
again.
answered
Just
the
okay,
question.
okay. So
I
okay,
answered the question
okay,
already.
okay.
But you
No, you
wanted.
didn't.
But you wanted to.
No, you didn't. No. Hold
I
on, hold
did.
on, hold on.
I
He
gave you
did,
a
Jay.
one
He
word
said
answer.
yes, Jay. He said yes.
yes.
Yeah, but he
Okay.
keeps on stopping me, so I can't
Holy
move on.
shit.
No,
I
but
can't move
Jay,
on to the next. This
here's
is
the
what
thing.
happens. Hold on,
Here's the,
hold on,
go ahead, go ahead.
hold on. So you said yes, okay, you will wife it. Can I ask you another question? While you're wifing that woman, would she have to stop what she's doing in order for you to wife it? See, I'm not trying to be facetious. I'm
Yes.
just trying to. She
Yes.
would have to stop the profession.
If I'm going to be serious for her, yes. But
Right,
can I
okay.
be honest with you? But can I be honest?
Let
I'm
you was
trying to give it
honest.
to
We're
Yeah,
you
you
talking
real.
answered.
serious. We're talking nothing but serious.
But
Okay.
seriousness, that's all I'm doing.
Because
Okay,
then, but see,
go ahead.
my thing is, I get these questions that take it and devolve it into some place that's childish, and I
How am
just
I?
go childish with it.
If I
But let me
was to
finish.
devolve it, I wouldn't be
All
letting you
right, all
talk.
right.
I'd be coming with another question. Hold on. You can't say that because you've answered the
You're
question. I've
taking
just
it.
asked you. Hold on. You keep on talking over me. I can't. Right.
I got you.
You've made a statement which is false. I've asked you another question. That will she have to stop the prostitution in order for you to wife it? You said yes. I left it as that.
And then I gave you more by saying in a serious relationship. I was going to
Jay,
tell you, and I'm being pretty.
Jay, can you
Hold
I'm
on,
gonna
let
say
pause?
him
what I'm
land. Let
talking
him
about.
land. Let him land. Let easy land. Go on.
Damn. What I was saying to you was
Mhm.
there's been times where she ain't my girlfriend. She on the strip fucking for money, but she know tonight she gonna come back to me, and I've paid her before. She gonna come back to me and spend the night at my crib.
Can I step in for a
I've done
second,
that.
Jay?
You're
Jay,
going to meet the
hold
family.
on, Cook. Hold on, Cook. No. Because see now,
We're
easy.
talking.
Hold on, Cook for 1 second. Now,
I met the family. I met the family multiple times. Different chicks. Met the
Hold on
family.
for 1
You
second.
know what I'm saying? Cook?
Easy. I'm about
Santiago.
easy.
Santiago. Puerto
Easy.
Plata.
I'm talking about making it a relationship. We're talking about.
Cook, hold on for 1 second. Easy, I'm about to scorch your ass. Because see, now you really fucked up. And I'm gonna tell you where you fucked up. I'm gonna tell you where you really fucked up. Because earlier, because
You know you
earlier,
fucked up, don't you?
earlier in the
Hey, yo,
conversation.
when I come back and Rico got the hoodie on, it's
This is what
dangerous.
I'm trying to tell you. Because earlier in the conversation, you leaned into the space. Okay, you leaned into the space of the black male and black female trauma, the fight, right? Remember that, BLB? Oh, there's all this fight between black men and black women, right? You said all that shit, but yet you just sat here and defended prostitutes in the DR.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
No,
Well, he said it's manufactured. Easy and I said it's manufactured.
Let me
No,
finish.
I said it's manufactured. No, you're wrong. You're lying on me.
Okay. So let me finish. You said it was manufactured, but yeah, you're saying I'm going to wife a whore, right? Jay, in another country.
Well, no, what he exactly said. Hold on, Rico.
A working girl.
Hold on, Rico. What he said is he will. Hold on. He said he will wife or whore, but she will have to stop. So in fairness, he wants to wife an ex-whore. Yeah.
So he will wife an ex-whore in the DR, but yet.
But when I met her, she was a whore.
Oh yes, you did, because Big J.
No, you're a client.
Big J was
not a client. You're not the president. You're a client.
So hear me out.
Listen, I met her in January. She was whoring. We became friends. Slept with her multiple times. And by February, March, she come in and spend the night after she finished whoring.
Okay, let's say it like this. Would you introduce her as, hey, guy, this is my girlfriend?
Cool. Hold on, first question.
Now you're going a lot further than I would like.
You let him out. Don't let him out. He's
you know what I'm saying? You're going.
Hear me out.
You're going further than I would like. We have to progress to that.
Because that's what this conversation is about.
Look, don't let him out. Easy.
She would have to progress to that. Like she would, the whoring would have to be doing for a while.
Easy.
You understand?
You're willing to wife an ex-whore in the DR, but yet you're saying that it's a viable fight against non-whores in the U.S. Because
it's
in the U.S.
No, he said it's manufactured.
Right.
He doesn't
keep putting words in my mouth.
He doesn't believe it.
I never said that.
So you
got the wrong person.
Okay.
No. BLB said it's
BLB said that.
Okay. So
Easy and I said it's manufactured.
So in other
get you some water. Get some water or some lemonade. Put the vodka down.
Fine.
And you know what I'm saying?
So
this is what we're saying.
So my question is this. Then why does
BLB? They want me to say no, right? Y'all want me to lie.
Hold on. Look
at BLB got his mouth covered. He can't believe it. BLB can't believe it.
Hold on, Cook.
Let Cook go. Let Cook go. Let Cook go.
Hold on. Let him get his question. Let
Cook get his
Rico had a question.
Let me finish. My question is, why is it viable to date a former working girl in a foreign country as opposed to a non-working girl in your home country who never worked?
I've done both.
That's the difference.
I've done both. Oh, bro, I've done both.
Well, let's just leave it. Okay, that's a good question. But my question is, you meet this girl, you just pay her.
Let me answer the question. No, let me answer Rico. Let me answer Rico, then you can answer. You're assuming that I have not dated or been in a serious relationship with women in America. For some reason, you're assuming that.
Okay,
but let's take that. And I said I have dated non-working chicks in America. But let's take your question to its further conclusion using some using some philosophical breakdown.
Yeah.
Think about this. let's think about this. I'm on the hook a lot more in America if I get married and get divorced, right?
Wow.
Child support, alimony, all that. So a
Whoa, whoa,
man
whoa. You
might
said
say,
child support. Ain't no kids involved. Leave
but
kids
we,
out. You said dating. Leave children
So
out.
you, so you're gonna meet this prostitute, right?
Yes.
look at the
You're,
way
you're
he
gonna
said
pay
that
her.
shit.
You're gonna pay her, and then all of a sudden you're like, you know, something just feels right about her. I
Come
want
on, don't be.
I want her to be my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
No, it
And
don't work like that.
and you're going
It
to
never
take a
works like
chance.
that.
And at this point, you're like, I want this. I want to try. I want to make this work with her.
Yes.
So now,
Right.
at that point, you're taking the chance on her backsliding.
No,
Like,
listen.
you know what I'm saying? Are you?
This is the thing, bro.
This is
the
what
thing.
this is what this whole chat is about. Wifing
No, it's not. Listen.
prostitutes.
Listen, listen,
Hold
bro.
on, hold on, hold on.
This
Before
is what
before
it's
we go,
about.
hold on,
I know
hold
you
on,
be
hold on, hold
told.
on. Hold on, no. Easy. 1 minute. We're gonna let Cook finish. We're gonna go into BOB. We're gonna go into Unks, and then we're gonna stick a pin because we got to move on to the next segment of
Okay.
why this is happening due to the YouTube. So Cook, BOB, then NYC Unks, and then we have to move on. Go ahead, bro.
Like I said, you just paid her, and y'all had a good time, and she's funny. She's, you know, you're thinking she could be a stand-up comedian instead of a prostitute. You're gonna take that moment and be like, you know what? I think I would like to start something with her. Would you?
No.
Is that what we're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all.
Okay, so that's okay. So you got to pick one because this chat.
No, it's not picking one. It's
This
not. No,
chat right
listen. It's
now
not picking
is
one.
would
But it's not.
you wife a pay for play?
Listen. Listen. From the way I'm gonna go back how I came into the room. From the way BLB is saying, if he found out a woman's a prostitute, he ain't fucking with her. I said no, that's not true. I wouldn't do that. And most guys say that, but that's not
Wait,
true
you
because
wouldn't
women
do
are ran
what?
through that.
You wouldn't deny it, or you would
Listen.
you
BLB said, well, BLB said he doesn't want a woman who's ran through. Period. Right, BLB?
he
You don't
doesn't
want
want
a
a
woman
woman
ran through.
that he paid for
Correct.
sex. He doesn't want a woman
Listen.
that
He
he
don't care
paid
if she
to have
been.
sex.
He don't care if she was loose at parties or if she been paid to do it. If she just a groupie that's been going around to parties in Atlanta and fucking because she like to fuck, he don't want her either. If she never
Right,
got
but
paid.
we're just talking about the
I
box
know that.
fillers. Let's
Cook, I'm
keep it
trying to
to box
explain
fillers.
something to you. Cook, I'm trying to explain something to you, but y'all are making this conversation. This is why I say y'all making it adolescent.
No,
Because
easy. The question that
let me finish. If you let me finish and stop
Okay,
talking, then you
Y'all
would learn
keep going
something.
off track, man. You keep going off.
Ain't
We're not
nobody
talking
going
about
on track.
other
All right, let
women.
me talk to BLB. BLB, let me talk to you. It's not like you go there and you see the chick on the strip like, oh, I want you to be my girlfriend. You're the prettiest thing I've ever seen. Nobody's saying that. What I'm saying is from my own past experience, especially being in the military, I'll meet a chick, you pay to smash, and then you pay to smash again. Dudes want to act like they don't talk to these chicks outside you smashing. When you in an area like Sasua or Columbia, you do. You get to know them. You might take them out to dinner. You might eat. You get to talk. You talking to them for a month or two. You get to know the real person, like you said. And now we like, yo, listen. Oh, just come back to the crib and chill. Next thing you know, she's coming back and chilling. She have a tough night. You got a better room than she got. You got hot water. She can come back and spend the night. So
Wifing,
now y'all friends.
wifing,
I'm done.
wifing
I'm
a
done.
chick.
Because I think
Wifing a
y'all not
chick.
listening
he
to me.
said married. No, he
Let
said
them build the
Wifing a
dialogue,
chick.
dog.
he said
Wifing a chick.
Exactly. But I'm done. I wouldn't do it. I'm
you didn't say
joking.
fuck.
We're not
You
talking
said
about
married.
killing. We're talking about wifing a
I'm
chick.
done. I hear what you're saying. I'm telling you how it progresses to that.
He
You
said
don't see what you're saying. What you're
he's
saying
saying
is,
exactly
I'm just going to
what
see a chick on the strip
he's saying
and
the
take her off the
progression.
strip.
How
so
you
you
lead
so
up to
you
that point.
so easy. You wouldn't wife a working girl.
No, I would not. Matter of
Okay, then
fact,
that's a different fucking
I
answer.
only fuck with virgins. I only fuck with virgins.
Okay, so that's a different fucking answer. That's the whole point. You said you would, and now you're saying you would.
Because he tried to give it these. He tried to spin it, but it's straight.
I'm not trying to spin it. You know what I'm saying? BLB understand what I'm saying. I don't know if you can
You
explain it to
say
them.
I think you're saying
But
that
this is what I was telling
whatever that could
B.O.B.
progress, it
Hold on,
could
fam.
progress into a relationship.
He said perfectly. He said somebody's currently active in the streets. He wouldn't wife, but he would
Yeah, he
if
would
they
want it.
retired
Yeah.
from the game and they had
Yeah.
a past. He said he
Yeah.
would.
And we were friends
He would.
already. Listen, I'm telling you the truth, Big J. This is your channel. Let me just say this. I'm gonna give you the real. I've been with multiple chicks, laid
Make,
up with
make,
them, and
make
they
it
come back.
easy. Make it quick because we have to move on. I have
Okay,
to
okay,
get to
make it quick.
BOB. Yeah, please
So
make it
listen,
quick, please.
like most men who go out there, the rooms we have are much better than where they're staying at. They might be staying two, three girls to a room. So I'm like, yo, after we done fucked a few times and we have a certain relationship, the relationship has changed. You could come by here, take a shower, spend the night. There's nobody but you and me.
And
Now
you're
me and the
still
buddy land.
gonna pay.
I know that. Yes, she's not my girlfriend at that time, but the relationship has changed. You understand? And now you start keep talking to her after a while, the relationship changes.
But the pay doesn't.
I understand. Well, for some it
Right.
don't, but I know when I've gone and matured there, it's taking on a different.
You're going to pay.
All
You're
right,
going
bro. I hear you. You're
Right.
right. You're right.
We have to stick a pin in that. Right. So for Unks is BOB Unks, last words on that, because we're gonna move on to the YouTubers segment, which me and you spoke about earlier, BOB, Rico brought up. So just the last word on this whole, it's still staying in the realms of it, but is there anything else you wanted to say to Easy in terms of,
I understand what you're saying, Easy. I think for the general subject matter, you know, no matter what we say tonight or tomorrow or the next day, there's planes that land and there's guys that fall in love and that will marry. And I think this is another show, but I think we as Black people need to start really defining what wifing means versus marriage, right?
Yeah.
So the pretty woman situation, he ended up marrying her, right? If I'm not
exactly?
mistaken, right?
Yeah, he
So,
did. Yeah.
No, he didn't marry.
No, he didn't marry her.
Listen,
He
you
didn't marry
I'm
turned
her.
wrong.
up. Hold
He
on,
did not
guys.
marry her.
Guys,
He
guys,
did not
guys,
marry
guys,
her.
guys, 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 guys. We're playing with semantics here. The guy turned up in a limo with a bunch of flowers declaring his
what are we
love
talking
for
about?
Vivian.
The movie.
It's
Pretty
a pretty
woman.
woman.
Pretty woman
He
too.
did not marry her. He did not
That's why
marry
I
her.
call it.
He's not married yet.
Listen.
Yeah.
It's called the pretty woman syndrome, right? I don't care. I am not turning up with a bunch of flowers, renting out a limo for any whore,
Even engaged.
Hey, they deserve better. We men gotta lead them. We gotta show them the way.
Yeah,
right? I'm not doing it. But
agree.
Unks, is there any? But moving on.
Hold on. Let me finish. I think
Sorry,
so.
my bad.
No school. So, the guys that do it, the guys that decide to do it, the guys that we're talking about guys that pluck them straight off the streets. Some of these women are looking to be saved. Some of these women, there are cases where some of these women do change their whole lifestyle when they get into relationships with guys. As far as Rico, as far as that, the receipts on guys that are marrying women, you won't see them. There are a lot of them, but you won't see them because they're not on YouTube. But there are a lot of guys that go overseas and do marry women, whether they bring them home or not. And a large
A
part of the
lot.
guys that are
A
marrying,
lot.
yeah, there's a lot. A large part of guys that are marrying these women, some of them guys don't care about what their past is or what it is. Some of these guys just love them for them and they want to move forward with them. So it's nothing that's going to stop today. It's going to continue on. But me personally, how my family's set up and what my last name means, I'm not going to do it. And if you guys know me, if you ever seen my channel, Big J knows I told a story about me in Colombia dating a girl for a long time. She was going to be mine, but I found out that she used to work in Gusto's. And I had to I called everybody, every check. I called Cowboy, I called everybody. And I told him, like, bro, I got feelings for this girl, bro, but I found out some damaging news. And they was like, bro, you got to do what you got to do. Whatever you want to do, just make a decision. And I made the decision not to do that. So we ended that.
Right. So moving on, sticking a pin. I spoke to BOB earlier today. 1 minute.
Hey, look, let me just say this.
Hold on. hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, because because we're gonna be on that subject all day. We got to move on to the content creators. So I personally seen being in the YouTube game, coming in, it was, you know, everything was about content, and this is staying in the realms of what we're talking about information. Then it moved on to the whole creep cam. I don't know how long creep cam has been alive, but from when I was in the YouTube game, it started growing. Well, first it was trolling online, making videos about people, mocking people. Then slowly came in was the creep cams. Now, what I've seen from the creep cams back to the trolling, now there's this new thing now of guys getting the play for play, coming online, showing you the goods, what they've got. And then you've got cheerleaders with pom-poms talking about, oh, you winning, you winning, you winning. Now, could it be that there's brothers actually watching, which they are, they're watching these content creators and actually falling for the hype of these guys actually winning? They don't understand the difference between winning, and paying for the camera. Bob World TV, shout out to him. He done a talk the other day on this. And I left a comment on his channel saying, well said. However, and Rico rightly pointed it out, you are part of that problem because you was one of the ones as well. And don't get me wrong, I liked what he said. I'm not going back on what I said. I liked what he said. At the same time, you are part of that because you was part of showing women on your channel and using this, oh, I'm winning, I'm here, I got this, and you haven't. How many of these guys are getting it off the strength? How many of these guys are actually paying for it? Are they adding also to this illusion for brothers coming over, getting with prostitutes and getting with them? Uncle Rico.
Well, I would just say this, like a lot of people may not realize how me and Jay became close was actually because, believe it or not, I was and BLB know I used to be like with Peso Man, right? And Peso Man was really a character that was born out of attacking not Kevin Samuels as a person, but just the character. And we went into the Passport Bro space and we attacked one of the people that Jay was very much close to. And I think we did justifiably so.
Who's that? Who's that?
It was from Philly. Philly Don.
Oh, hell no. Never been close to him.
Right?
You got me fucked
Blasphemy,
up.
right?
Hell no. Fuck that.
So, and he came at our ass. He put foot.
But I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
And it was really, I really love the whole dynamic of how we came about. And he attacked us and we fought. And we started to realize that, like, you know what? We were more symbiotic than we were against each other. So the same thing with BLB. It's like, look, we think we're against each other, but we really are saying the same thing. And so in this space, the only thing, when I watched International Zoe's video, I will say that I agree 100% with everything he said, except for
I agree.
That I will point out is like, motherfucker, no, you weren't ahead of the curve. You were like 3 years behind, because Jay will tell you the shit that you're complaining about now, me and Peso were saying 3-4 years ago.
Listen, before you and Peso was saying, saying
BLB,
me and BLB was saying it.
And
from day dot,
saying we were haters, we were this, we were that. And it's like, yeah, I can appreciate. So I'm not going to demonize you for getting to where you're at. But this bullshit about you were ahead of the curve, shut the fuck up. You were part of the problem. Because
I agree with you.
And the reason why I say he's part of the problem is you validate it. So, for example, one of the earlier videos, Zoe, you did. I hope you watching this shit. You sat down with Austin. You had an opportunity when you interviewed Austin to correct him about what he was doing wrong in Brazil. And you didn't, because you wanted to validate that shit because you were trying to ingratiate yourself to the space. I'm not mad at it. If you were trying to eat, make your fucking money, whatever the case may be, but niggas say that's what it was. Don't come to me 3-4 years later after that shit didn't work and then tell me, oh, I was ahead of the curve. No, fuck you. You wasn't ahead of the curve. It was some bullshit. And that's what it was. So I'm not mad at you. You know, so the Austin, the Floyd, remember? We know Floyd. We know Austin. We know the Kid Greatness. We know all of these. And I don't want these young men not to travel. I want them to travel responsibly. I want them to travel, you know, thoughtfully. I want them to travel wherever, you know.
But the same thing, but Ace, remember, Ace, sorry to cut your wisdom, Rico. Ace done, and shout out to Ace Live. Ace done the same thing.
Yes.
He ridiculed these guys for what that's how him and Marwa came into the game.
Mara.
They were doing the same thing.
Ace.
Mara was a creep cam. He was,
yes.
He's a creep cam.
All of them. So again, do your thing, but don't sit there and go, for me, Jay, as an older man, I take exception. You know, I've always told you, Jay, I take exception to older YouTubers, whether it's myself, and I'm not even a YouTuber. I don't have a fucking channel. So when everybody want to sit there, oh, nigga, I don't have a channel. Fuck y'all. Okay. But whether it be TaylorMade, whether it be Zoom to Thailand, I'm only trying to get
let's keep real. And even Zoom to Thailand. Sorry to cut your wisdom. Even with Zoom to Thailand.
I have a problem with older YouTubers that I feel like should be doing more leading, following. I'm like, we shouldn't be following these young boys. We should be leading and showing them. And they're not doing it.
That's why I always said, and that's why I always said that when this was my problem, when people used to talk about Austin Holloman. My problem wasn't Austin Holloman. My problem was never Austin Holloman.
Older people.
My problem was the older men following Austin. Because I always said, I'm older than Austin Holloman. There's nothing he can teach me about women. Nothing.
Can't tell me shit.
He can't tell me shit.
Nothing.
But you have older men, my age, your age, Cook's age, following him.
Yes.
So what does that say about us as men? What does that really say about us? A young boy can just come and, because you've seen him in a few countries with different women.
Yes. You know better. You fucking know better, Jay. Yeah. You fucking know better. You know better, B.O.B. You fucking know better.
Do men really? And I'm gonna tell you why do men really. And I'm sorry to go with the spider legs to other things, but we're talking about a culture of men that help women in the United States become millionaires through their OnlyFans, right? So do we really know better? Do we really know better? Guys, look, I've been trying, and this is why I kind of left the space. I always leave the space and come back because I see people on the spectrum popping the camera open and doing better numbers than me, that giving knowledge to these people and giving them information, right? And so I'm like, people don't want to hear that. People want to see the women. They want to see the women. First of all, they want to see the women that they cannot touch. There's been a number of your favorite YouTubers that have been putting women up on their YouTube, and I done been through that, ran through it. You understand what I'm saying? But you got these guys that put these women up, and the consumer consumes it. So I mean, this is just what it's gonna be. No matter how much we try to buck the system, guys are still gonna gravitate to these YouTubers that put eye candy on it, and it's like a drug to them. I never understood it. It's like these guys are watching Zoe's videos, I can't. Sorry for even calling him Zoe. Sorry to my Haitian folks for calling him Zoe because he's not that. There's guys over here that's following him, and what are they must be masturbating to these pictures or something like that, to these videos with the girls on it, because they stay tuned in to a guy that is actually paying for a service. Paying
It's
for
a
a
lot
fee.
of
Yeah,
dudes.
exactly.
It's a lot. I'm gonna tell you this right now. And shout out to one of my homies, one of my best friends growing up, right? He came to visit me. We up in New York, we hanging out, and he hit me up when he got back home. And he was like, yo, what up, bro? Just checking on you, et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, it's all good. I'm in Medellin, Colombia. He was like, oh, that's what's up. Me and the homies are sitting here watching a YouTube video of a dude, doing the creek camp shit. So a lot of their followers are dudes that's not traveling, but living vicariously through that, just treating it like regular TV because they can reach it's more of a personal thing for them. You know what I mean? So a lot of their followers, like you'll see somebody with 200,000 views. I'm like, it's a lot of cats that are not going to be getting a passport anytime soon. So they just do that, and it's just entertainment for them. So I was
Listen, bro.
we said that, I was like,
Dudes,
yo,
you put 10 dudes in a room, man, and you ask 10 dudes, are they traveling for culture? Ask them. See how many raise their hand. See how many raise their hand. Because there's a bunch of dudes running around here lying. This is the land of moissanite, man. Y'all guys got to really be true to it. This is moissanite land.
Exactly.
This is
Please
phony
be
land,
true.
man. There's a bunch of phony dudes running around all over this place acting like they've been doing it and they ain't been doing nothing. I noticed
No,
the
like
first day I landed in DR. I noticed it when I went overseas in other countries, Germany, all over the place. Dudes are
Portland.
phony.
yeah.
Dudes are phony, man.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
you saying it right. Remember, one of the guys we're talking about went over. He left Colombia. He went over to Germany, Europe, and all that. There was no chicks on his videos. Why? When you go to Eastern Europe, when you go to Europe and Eastern Europe, he had no females on his videos. Why?
But here's the thing, BLB, right? Here's the crazy part about it. Like, I can go anywhere in the world and I can put hookers. There's not a country in the world that I can't go. I can go to Germany. I can get German hookers. I can go to France. I can get French hookers. There's nothing. So when so even in the what I'm trying to tell young men to think is like, just stop thinking because the presentation of a pretty woman means that that's what's going to be this same expectation that you can expect, because that's not necessarily true. They do that. So like we're me and some friends of mine, we're doing a video. We're going to do a stream on Sunday. It's totally different. I'm not even going to talk about that. But the fact of the matter is, I see so many. What I look at YouTubers like is like infomercials, right? So I'm a little bit old. So back when we were older, coming up, when you watch TV like after 11 o'clock, all of a sudden the fucking infomercials came out, and they were selling you the blooming onion maker and all this shit. They would sell all these commercials,
Yeah.
and it would make it like, oh, I gotta have it, because what they knew psychologically, they would show you visual images, which would psychologically play to the mindset to make you think you needed something, even if you didn't need it. I remember my mother dying. She had 4 fucking onion makers, and the bitch didn't even like onions. I mean, because
But Rico, you gotta understand, but you gotta understand something,
God
Rico.
rest your mother's
You're
soul, my guy.
no, but
you're
listen what I'm
asking,
saying.
but you're asking a man to think out of the box of his natural thought. A
Right.
man
And
does not look at a woman and say, she has such a beautiful mind. Oh my
no,
God, this woman is my mate.
no,
He
but
looks
what
at
I'm
her for
saying
her
is,
beauty.
right, but what I'm saying is psychologically, at the human brain, they figure it out. Make them look at some shit, and you can put visual images, because they've done this. They've studied people in dark rooms, headphones over your ears, and they show you visual images, and it's like, which one does the brain trigger to? And they would show certain things like that. So they do that with salesmanship. They do that with all kinds of stuff. They do that thing in particular to people of color. It's not just black people. They do it to Hispanic people. They do it to Asian people. They do it to people of different orientation. The government has done all this shit for everybody. And all I'm saying is, when we start traveling and we start seeing things that sit there, why the hell you think all the passport? You think all the passport bros from all over the country all of a sudden started drawing on the same thing because somebody came up with the title? Are you out of your fucking mind? There's a cue, there's a trigger that they figured to say, this is the trigger to make these Negroes want to come over here.
Well, I mean, that's the weak-minded dudes, because I don't follow nobody's beat. I follow
I'm
my
not
own
saying
beat.
you.
No.
I'm not
I know you're not saying me. What I'm saying is that what it is that what you're asking is valuable. And I understand that we should be teaching these young guys that they're doing it wrong. The problem with that is these young guys don't want to learn nothing from you.
Facts. That I agree with.
So you
I agree.
can't teach somebody something that don't.
These YNs now, they don't want to learn nothing.
They don't want to learn nothing from you. So you can't teach somebody something that don't want to learn. You know, when you're dealing with relationships or anything, if I go to BLB and I say I'm having a problem with somebody, right? I'm not going to BLB because I don't know how to handle it. I'm going because I need another rational thinker to tell me what he thinks of the situation.
Let me ask you a question. Okay. All right. So you're
Rico, before your question, let's not I'm just saying this real quick. Don't hold in on just young dudes, because a lot of the things that are going on overseas is because of the older dudes. Let's be clear.
May I say one thing before you say it, Rico? May I say one thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me say something that I said to Jay and BLB, and that I said to Cook one day when we were on a live. I said, my second time in DR, I'm walking down the beach with a family member, 2 family members, and what I see is a guy with his pants tied around his leg. I turned and I looked at my family member and I said, this is 10 years ago. I turned and I looked at him. I said, it's over for down here. And you know what he said to me? Nah, it's not. And I said, it's over for down here. You don't even understand what you're looking at, because you don't understand. And I do.
Okay.
The minute you bring that aspect into the country, you changed it.
I agree with that. I agree with. That
you changed it, because you're dealing with someone that just throws money around. They don't care about throwing money around. And when you throw money around without no recourse to what you're doing, you change the dynamics of everything that's going on around you.
So it's a competition.
So let me ask you a question, right? So primarily, right? All right. I'm gonna make
Go back to your thought.
No, I'm saying I'm gonna make some assumptions, because I'm going to assume, and again, if I make an assumption that's wrong, just let me know what's wrong, because I don't know. I'm going to assume that this space that you were talking about was up in the North Coast. So let's say Sosua.
No, Rico, you can't do that, Rico. You can't do
that.
No, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Listen,
okay.
Listen. I'm asking him. If I'm wrong, he'll tell me I'm wrong, and then I'll back off. I'm fine. The only reason I'm saying is when he said, okay, the gentleman with the pants around their ankles, just the blah blah blah. I'm like, that ain't Punta Cana, and that ain't Santo Domingo. I don't believe.
No, that's Santo Domingo.
I could be wrong, but
Hold on. Let me answer this gentleman's question. Let me answer your question. I was at an event for a YouTuber when that occurred. That's number one. And that also happens in Punta Cana, Santo Domingo, Santiago, Samana. We can name them all, because I done been through most of them. I don't just have been around the country.
No, I'm asking you, where did it occur at?
So at a YouTuber's event.
And that's all. Again, I'm not saying it doesn't exist in other places. I'm asking you specific. And again, this is, and I'm not saying this about Sosua. I'm just saying it's like, okay, all right, so this happened in the North Coast. And believe it or not, yes, it does happen in fucking Punta Cana.
Oh yeah, it's starting to happen a lot.
It'll
Yeah,
probably be more
yeah.
called out there, but it does sporadically, and it happens sporadically. It happens sporadically in Santo Domingo. It'll probably be more addressed. But again, like you said, okay, it happened in Sasua. Okay, fine. It's not a problem with it. It happened. So my question is like, when every time I sit there and I tell people, in particular about the North Coast or Sasua, and I say, Sasua is going to be gentrified. Oh, no, Rick. I'm like, no, it's like, it's the same way. I live outside Washington, D.C., right? Washington, D.C. used to be called Chocolate City. Washington, D.C. used to be 80, 90% black. That shit ain't 80, 90% black no more. Now they call that motherfucker Latte City. Because white folks started taking that
That's
shit.
like Harlem. That's like Harlem. You
Yes.
go down 125th Street.
Okay.
It's 50-50.
You understand what I'm saying? Gentrification happens. And I keep telling motherfuckers up in Sasua, you niggas about to be gentrified.
Mm-hmm.
Get over it.
Rent going up. Rent already going up.
But that wasn't new, because if you looked at what they on the planes going down to DR, they didn't want black men coming down there anyway.
I don't give a fuck what they wanted. I'm telling you what money wants. Money.
Well,
Here's
that's a fact. We all know that whole thing is getting ready to change.
And here's
that's getting wiped.
Sasua is, I'm like, it has a gorgeous beach. You know that, Jay. The beach
they just put 50 million to Sosua 2 years ago.
It's money. You niggas got to go.
Hey, hold on. Don't get it twisted now. These is plenty of niggas out there that love blowing their bread. There's going to be a lane for them. There's still going to be a lane for these overspending hotels, overspending.
You know what it's called, Cook? You know what it's called?
The chicks in Sosua are not from Sosua.
Nah, but you want to know what that place is called when Sosua finally gentrifies itself and get people out? You want to know what the new place is called? It's called Gaspar Hernandez and Cabarete. That's all that's going to happen.
Hernandez.
They're going to move down the street.
Okay. For the uneducated, can I tell you what the magical tourist is?
Okay. Rico getting in trouble.
You've been out here long enough, Rico. You better bring your ass in the house.
My wife cussing me out. Do you know what the magical tourist is?
It ain't us.
No, tell me what you think it is.
The magical
tourist.
Whoever spends a lot of money in that country.
Family? You mean like a white family of 3?
That's what I was going. That's where I was going with it.
That's going to be staying for a long vacation
2
from a country where they get long vacations, not the United States. But one
the
of them
married white woman does not want to see her husband around prostitutes.
Europe.
No.
Simple. The married white woman does not want to see her husband around prostitutes.
That's fact. That's a fact.
That's a fact. It is a husband, a wife, and 2 children.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the magical tourist.
Mm-hmm.
A husband, a wife, and 2 children. Because you know what they do? They stay in a hotel for a week. They go to restaurants for a week.
Mm-hmm.
They go on excursion for a week. They're not sitting there living in a fucking Airbnb. They're not 25 to a fucking room. They're not fucking skimping on. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
A magical tourist is a husband, a wife, and 2 children in any fucking country. And if you're not there, fuck you. That's what every country wants. When they're pushing tourism, even in America, we want a husband, a wife, and 2 children. Because what happens is their tourist footprint is taxable money. When you go Cook or when you go BLB, you niggas don't spend no tax dollars. You niggas go stay in an Airbnb, probably not taxable. You niggas spend most of your money on hookers, not taxable. You're probably eating off the food truck, not taxable. However, if a husband, a wife, and 2 kids come, everything they do in the country is taxable. I don't want BLB or fucking Jay or you cook. I want a husband, a wife, and 2 kids. I don't want y'all. So when you be, oh, you like, fuck y'all. Y'all don't spend no money here. I want a husband, a wife, and 2 children. That's the taxable one that even as the government, so the local economy eats and we eat too. But I can't eat off of you, Jay, because Jay, you're going to sit there and try every fucking way you can to make sure I don't get paid. I can't eat off of you, BLB. I can't eat off of you, Cook, because you cheap motherfuckers make sure I don't eat.
We going to the Comado to eat.
Exactly. There's my fucking point.
We eating at the Comado. We getting that 200. I be like, look, 200 mil, 200 pesos.
My point.
That.
I don't.
So Rico, on that point,
Big J, check that question on the bottom. That's a good question, and people got to understand the dynamics of. So the YouTubers came and they made everybody go over there, right? Yeah. So why would Sosua change? Because here's a couple of reasons why. Mostly beach. Every ship that goes, every cruise ship stops in the North Coast. That's one reason. Mm-hmm. And they are waiting to put more money into the North Coast because that's the top destination. Number 2, there's an airport that comes straight from Miami to Puerto Plata. More money. It's a beautiful area that if somebody gets a hold of it and do it right, like if, for instance, if Royal Caribbean bought Sosua, the Dominican Republic will take that money before they even cut the check.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And so that's the North Coast is a beautiful place. You can go to Punta Cana. Everything's expensive in Punta Cana.
Right.
Yeah.
Chadamico ain't nothing but broke ass Dominicans in Chadamico, but that is a beautiful beach. All that beach, they got to make money on that.
The system is already set up in Sosua to make money, but the wrong element. If I was running the country, I wouldn't want what's there right now. I kick all of them out and make it a family type situation. I kick out all the shorties and make it a family type situation because that break goes longer.
And what happens if the problem with that is
Cook? But hold on, what happens? So in South Carolina, I don't know if y'all, Big J, this is a South Carolina near Georgia, right?
Yeah.
There was a DJ that was sleeping with white DJ that was sleeping with a lot of black women, and he was giving out AIDS to all of them. What happens when that epidemic happens in Sosua where diseases is crazy? Guys gonna start traveling? No, they're gonna go. And then the shop owners is losing money. So it would be smart for the mayor of Sosua, of Puerto Plata, to move all of that bullshit out. And that's the reason why the North Coast is so valuable. The North Coast for better reasoning is probably a better destination than Punta Cana. Punta Cana is far
about this though. It's just like, for example, it's just like Tubi TV. You get a bunch of black stuff to make it popular. Now, if as the name grows, you remove the black and then you put in what you want, the white. The same shit with Sosua. Sosua got super popular over the last 2025, over the last 20 years because of Cuba Dave and black folks come in and all that stuff. So that's what built the name of it up. But now, ever since Ilya, whatever her name is, that Jewish lady mayor, must have got her husband taken by a hooker or something. She or got the word from Santo Domingo. All right, it's popular enough now, but it's a little too popular because now everybody looks at DR as a whole a sex tourist place. Now we got
This person asked the question. I think it's a good question. If you already have that family type environment in Punta Cana, why would you change Sosua into that? And I don't know if y'all know or not, but Alex Rodriguez, the baseball player, like Alex Rodriguez, the baseball player, he's made a deal to invest $1 billion into Rio San Juan. So that's a big thing also.
What's his
That
name?
just happened this
Vin
week.
Diesel? Didn't Vin Diesel just do some stuff over
Yeah,
there?
they just said that.
Yeah,
But
but we're still
Yeah,
waiting
he's
on that. That was like
but
years
look
ago.
at
yeah.
Nothing's happened.
look at it on
He
the
made an
map.
agreement, but they haven't broken ground yet. They
But
made
look
an
at it on the
agreement.
map.
Vin Diesel-
Yo,
But
easy.
but
Look
Easy,
at Sasua on the map, right?
you asked a specific question about
you-
why would they sit there and do it more family oriented, because again, I said at the beginning of the video, unfortunately, Sasua is a huge singles town, right? So I would sit there and say, okay, if you say Sasua, you got 10,000 single black men, right? You know what they sit there and say about Sasua? Instead of it being 10,000 single black men, it's 10,000 white families. So it's not 10,000. Now that's 40,000. It's more fucking money.
Well, Rico, look at Cartagena.
That's it.
Everybody here knows Cartagena, right? If you don't know Cartagena has moved a lot of the working girls out of the tower, right? They moved clubs out to get them out of there, right? If you walk around Cartagena, even when the ladies was there, you'll see more families, more actual Colombians there than you would see in Sasua. No Dominicans say, yeah, we're gonna take the family to Sasua. Nobody says that.
Right.
Where they go is to Punta Cana.
Right.
Now you got people that live 30 minutes from Sasua. Wouldn't they love to
No,
go
that's
to a
not
nice
true. That's not
On
true.
Sundays, you
There's
get
a lot of families.
back in the day
There's a
on
lot of
Sundays you get a
families
lot of
from
locals at the beach. But
Santiago
other than that,
that go to. Hold on. There are coaches. A lot of coaches that come from Santiago to literally go to Sasua Beach.
I've
By
never
bus.
seen. I've never.
Yes, they have
I've been to
bus loads
Sasua
out
3
there on
times.
Sundays.
Bus
yeah,
loads,
Sundays.
bro. I'm
Bus loads
talking
on
about
Sundays.
I've never
bus
seen it.
loads.
I've never seen it. I've never seen
What?
it.
Yeah.
They got
Oh, that was
families
the
out
thing.
there.
Every
They got the
Sunday,
umbrellas.
Sundays was
Hold on.
the locals.
On
They got
Sasua Beach,
umbrellas with them.
Yeah.
Everything.
I've never seen
And
it.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what they do
crazy
now,
part,
but
yeah.
when Sasua was hidden, because I literally haven't been to the beach in a couple years, probably. But
The point
every
Oh, they're there.
Sunday,
The,
you
the
know,
the beach be packed on Sundays. You're not even getting on the beach on
Oh, for
yeah,
Sundays.
for
sure.
locals, yeah.
I've never
What?
seen it. I've never seen it.
They may have cut it out now with all the changes,
yo,
but
you
every
need to go
Sunday
down there in April.
for
Go in April
years,
after Easter
What?
or
years,
Easter Sunday when Easter finishes.
every
It's
Sunday.
buses parked
So-
on the side of the
So
road.
you're saying that more families from Santiago, Esperanza, Mao, San Juan de la Mata.
I don't care where they're
Just
coming from.
more
Yeah,
families, period.
Hold on.
We
You're
don't know
saying
where they're from.
more families.
yeah, we don't know
go
where
to
they come. We
that
don't
beach.
ask them. They don't fill out surveys. Dominicans don't like to fill out surveys.
That's a
They
fact.
just come. We can see them.
That's a fact.
My
That's a
question
fact.
is this: so why do we?
But you're
care
saying
about-
more of these people
Hold-
are
hold-
traveling to Sasua rather than Punta Cana, Beach La Romana, Juan
Right.
Dolio.
Let me ask that
Araujo.
question.
Wherever they coming from over the years, I mean, like from
Okay.
09, I've been going since like 09. 09 up until I don't go to the beach. Well over 10, 12 years.
But let me ask you a question.
Every Sunday it's locals.
Why does it?
They're local. And you know what the crazy thing is? They're at the Cherami Coast end.
But Jay,
Okay, so that changes the
whole
dynamic.
They on the whole length of it.
Bro, I've never seen
At the
people
beach, in front of outside, not under the tree,
I've never
but
seen
on the
people
beach.
in the Hostro area. From
My
Flip Flops Bar all the way down to Finger, I've never seen a whole bunch of Dominican families. I don't know. Maybe I was drunk.
They don't be under the tree.
No,
They
on
be
a
out
Sunday,
on the
on a
beach.
Sunday, on a Sunday,
On a Sunday, they
BOB.
out.
They're there.
B.O.B. Here's the question: is why does it care where they go? The question is that we're talking about gentrification, and if gentrification is, it's not. In other words, when they gentrify Harlem, they can give a fuck where niggas went. You just got to get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? They don't care where you go. You go where the fuck you want to go. When they gentrify DC,
who gentrified Harlem though?
White people.
Bill Clinton.
No.
White people.
No, was it Clinton? Who gentrified Harlem?
I'm just saying white people, period. When they
You know who signed that bill for Harlem?
you want to say
David Dinkins
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
signed that bill. Quality of life, open
Right.
container
So,
law,
so listen what I'm saying. I'm saying they did the
and
same.
Well,
Abyssinian
he
Church.
also
Let me finish it. They did the
David
same.
Deacons also was having it where you could buy a brownstone for $1.
Okay, but hold on. They did the same thing in DC
Yes,
when
sir. That was part of it.
they gentrified DC, and DC went from fucking chocolate city to latte city, and so on and so forth. All I'm saying is gentrification as a whole, whether it's in America or whether it's in the DR or any other country, gentrification is where people with money come in, they buy depressed properties, agreed? They buy shit. Like, in other words, poor people hold on to it till the property values get so low. People with money come in, buy the shit, and they gentrify it. Usually, people with money look a certain way. They look fucking white. Can we all agree with that? Yes or no?
No
That can
doubt about that.
be
We all know that's who
in
runs it.
DC, that can be in the fucking DR or whatever. White people come in with money and they say, we're going to buy these poor properties and we're going to fix them up. And then we're going to make them better. And they make you think they're doing a good thing. This is what gentrification is. They take advantage of poverty.
You take a look at how Sasua is set up. Now,
This is what it is.
one thing I noticed about Sasua and business, black business versus white business. When you have you notice how long these white businesses been in business, like Jolly Rogers, all them under that stretch, because they are consistent and they go and they have their group. It ain't a bunch of weekend warriors, because you get more people going in like Rumbas or whatever, but that is so volatile. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're gonna get your money, but at the same time, depending on weekend warriors is different than making your money off of consistent every day. I'll be staying at the Airbnb on the Pedro Casante down past Europa. I walk by, I see I forgot the name of them, but it's the same people there all day, every day. They're playing their old school music, that old school rock from the 80s and R&B from the 80s. That same thing with the city lights or whatever. If they do that, I'll be trying to tell Sherm, I'm like, bro, y'all need to stop trying to get the weekend warrior and get these white people around here, because your money will be consistent. That's what they do. When they start gentrifying, they're going to have their consistent customers. They're going to have people that come to them every day and drink and sit. That one person that buys 2 beers a day for however long he's there is way more consistent money than somebody that come on the weekend and then this place might close, or, you know what I'm saying? It's just too volatile. But when you got that consistent money, it just seems to make more sense. So you gentrify, you're going to have more consistent money. Period. You know? So I understand, now you're going to have little bakeries, do different type of places that open back up. As we said before, the restaurants as opposed to all the comados, the playeros as opposed to the little small stores or whatever. I mean, you're going to have some people that go in for the culture, but for general spending, they're going to Superpola, Playero with a credit card and, doing how they're going to do like that. That's just different money. Like you said, taxable money.
So question to y'all, man. Back to the original, right?
So, sorry, POB, before you go, I just want to just welcome Travel Matic. Sorry, Easy, I had to drop you down for a minute because there's only 6 people allowed in the panel. So, yo, Travel Matic, blessings.
Bring Easy back up. I'm gonna drop. Thank you, Jay. No.
Rico's in trouble. Rico's already in trouble, so he got.
Yeah, they're about to get my ass kicked. Fuck you, BLB.
Hey, He was about to get hit with a slipper, bro. He was about to get the chancleta, bro.
You saw her walk by and everything. I was like, oh Lord, something gonna fly into the camera. Something gonna fly into the camera.
I love you, brother, but you was an observant motherfucker. I was like, I hate
she
this
told
nigga.
him to be quiet. He's like, oh, my bad. Yeah. Who running that house over there? Who running that house over there, Rico?
You know who?
Your bread has more butter than ours, so we good. You handle your household how you handle your household.
I'll hold it down for you, Rico.
Oh man. Travelmatic in the building.
Yeah, man. I come up here to help my boy Easy out, man. Y'all let that man have his hookers in peace, man.
Oh,
I'm in the trenches with you, E. We love our hookers, man.
No, but that
Shoot.
wasn't the question, though. The question
I'm with you,
was,
son.
can you wife one? That is the question. Can you wife one?
Can you pay
Now
one?
you know what I wanted to add
20 minutes
into that.
later, think she's your girl.
Now, what I wanted to add into that conversation, I was talking to somebody about that the other day, was that because actually it's stemming off of this guy who married the former prostitute, whatever. I seen that story too. And I told one of my partners, I said, I don't really see nothing that wrong with what he's doing in current day. Man, why you say you wife? I said, man, a lot of these dudes, that's all they do is mess with pros. They mess with pros every day. Even when they come here, they may get on a little back page or something like that. If that's your marinade all day, that's around you all day, every day. And you say, hey, I got a nice little, your mama may say, I got a nice little girl from the church, man. She really nice. And I want you to meet her, baby, or whatever. And that girl can't spit on that thing like a hooker can, man. That girl can't do them freaky things like them girls down in Sassoon can. Or in real, in real, they can do some freaky things down there. So the little church girl, that even though she nice, she got 2 degrees, she got a car, house, but she can't spit on that thing like them girls down there in Rio can, man. So the thing I want to say is, like, guys got to mix it up. It ain't nothing wrong with messing with a pro every once in a while, but guys these days are all the way in. They all the way in. Some of them can't come back.
Different, but she's just doing this just to pay for school.
They get blinded by all of that. All of that, none of that makes sense because she know how to spit on that thing. I'm telling you, dudes are stuck. You got dudes having 3. I remember the first time I even got into space. Guys used to be like, man, I had about 2 or 3 girls a day. I'm like, damn, a day? I'm like, man, I can't do it, man. How can you come back home and not do that and then come back? I think that's a weird thing. When you can't do it, when you don't do it at home, but then you go to Sasua and do 3-4 a day. Like, how the hell you do that? But it's being done all the time. Somebody on their 4th girl right now on Pedro Crescente picking her up right now. That's about to be his 4th girl because the internet.
20 p.m. Eastern.
all I'm telling you, them dudes be doing marathons, man. And it's just like, I don't see how you can do it. So back to this guy, I don't know this guy, but he may be a frequent a frequent effort. That's what he do. And so you can't judge him because that's really his thing. So that's why I said it's gonna be more guys like that because they don't mix it up. Especially guys who go to Sasua, they always with these pros. They don't never go down to Puerto Plata, go down there to the Pink Street or whatever, or go down there to the the Umbrella Street, or go to Santo Domingo and go to a nice club. Man, this dudes has been to Sasua for 15 years. They ain't never been to Santo Domingo.
That's not the argument. The argument was these dudes wifing these pros, taking them off the streets, though.
Right.
Because they not pros in them, they're saviors.
The wife of the pro, the chicks are the pros. See, you pay it. You just finished paying a chick. That's the scenario. You just paid her. and now you thinking about making her your girlfriend.
But I just listen to what I said. They're not pros. They're saviors. You
But
got
What
Travis,
you
guys
mean
don't
that,
by
you
the
think
pro?
that,
Well,
that it
who's
goes
the
more
savior?
deeper
What
than
do you
that?
mean savior?
That these guys
they got
just want that picture,
but
that these
because
guys just want a picture perfect girlfriend, and they're willing to do anything. Because let's face it, yeah, a lot what's going on now is validation. A lot of guys want validation from other guys. That's what it is, that pat on the back. That's why they
you
strive so hard. Oh,
you
look,
got
I've got a
guys
baddie.
you got married guys leaving their wife to go wife hookers in Sasua. I've seen it. I've heard it.
But why? This is what I'm trying to do, and this is what I was trying to get to earlier. I
But
think it's to do with validation. They want validation. They want that pat on the back from other guys. Say, "Oh, did you see his
but it's
chick? Oh, his chick's bad."
it's more dudes doing it on the slide than out in the open though. So it's not
Oh,
really
there's a lot
about
of dudes doing it out in the open. Don't get that twisted.
there are dudes, but there's more dudes doing it because they know deep down, like, man, these dudes gonna drive me, but I really love her. She really makes me feel good. She makes my toes curl, but they gonna judge me. Some dudes worry about being judged and they keep it on the low and wife her.
Yo, what's
But I'm
that
just
movie?
saying,
Monsters Ball, when she was like, "I want to feel good."
But yo, you know what the crazy thing about it is, BLB? You know what's funny? My man was dealing with a chick from Sosua that two YouTubers was fighting over. And both of them was giving her 400 a pop every time they was seeing her.
Was his name Kevcito?
Now,
Oh
I don't
man,
know. I ain't giving up no
I
names. I'm
oh
just telling
no
you
no
straight up
leave
and
my
down.
I was
guy.
They
just
was
about
giving
to
her,
say
Leave
you
my
had to
guy
say
for
his
the
name, bro. You
CEO
said
out,
his name, bro.
they was giving her
Leave my
400 a
guy for
pop
the
dogs,
CEO out,
and
man.
they were fighting over the chick,
that's crazy.
fighting over her.
Dirty work. That's dirty
Come
work,
on,
bro.
man.
Yeah, that's dirty work.
I'm telling you, I talked to so many divorced women, like, why you got divorced, whatever. He just want to treat me like a hooker. Cause that's all they used to being with on the slide. They don't want to be on the slide no more. They want them a full-time hooker. I'm telling you, hookers are winning right
Man,
now, man.
they want a woman in the streets and a freak in the bed, dogs. And most of these chicks want to lay on their back and do nothing at home.
Right.
Dudes are
A
sitting here
See,
trying
woman,
to
a
front. They
woman
trying to
coming
front like
standing
these
at the
women.
door with some
These
head
women in this
and
country
head
are
going
not doing
boom.
their jobs, man. They're
Right.
not doing their jobs. Dudes got
That's
to
a
really
it's
cut it
hard.
out.
I'm telling you,
That's a
it's
good
hard
point.
to find that. It's hard to find a lady in the streets and
We're
a
simple,
hole in the sheets.
but we're
How about a
simple.
chick that can cook, that
Cook
ain't
and
burning
feed.
franks? How about a chick that can cook?
We
Because
So,
can't
yo,
get a
last
whole
but
lot.
month,
and I'm gonna
You
tell
because
you,
cook for us, you bathing
DR
us,
is the
we good.
DR is the devil's playground because them girls can cook. They domesticated. I mean, I don't like the rush girls. Now, if you don't, the play girls are rush girls. But if you get you a nice non-pro girl, she ain't gonna be no rush. You gonna be a good time with her. So they got the trifecta, man. They got the trifecta, and that's very hard to find here in the States. It's very hard
hey,
without
y'all
any.
mongering.
So you
Y'all
paid
mongering.
that. You paid that trifecta.
Hey,
You
y'all
had to pay
and
her.
you
mongering.
Now
gonna
you
pay,
gonna
and you
wife
gonna
her.
pay for the tricep. You gonna pay for the same thing in the states. Don't
Exactly.
think you
But
not, because you
now
are.
you gonna wife her. I mean, you broke her off with cash because you down there on that. Yeah, she's
Nah,
trifecta. Are you gonna
Hey,
wife?
y'all
Would you
mongerers
wife
that
her
be.
after? Would you wife
I'm
her
not.
after you broke her off some cash?
Nah, I'm not wifing. No, I'm not doing none of that. That's not part of my agenda. But
But
I do
you
build
got nice
relationships with
ones.
people.
You got you
Say
got
what?
the you got the trifecta ones. Even if you meet them, you're gonna have to break her off with some cash.
A woman that don't want something, bro.
Yeah,
I
I think the
understand that.
cash is like a common denominator. They all want money.
Right.
Ev-
But
ev-
that's the whole question.
Money is security to all women around the world.
Right.
exactly. They
I'm
all looking
talking
for
about
security.
I'm
They,
talking about
they ain't dealing with no
immediately
broke
after
dude.
a beat. I'm not talking about a relationship to where you got to know the chick, hung out, et cetera, which is rare in these places. These places, they fucking with us. It's a transaction. A cool chick
It's
at the
all
beginning,
transactional.
but it's gonna be you're gonna dig in your pocket and you're gonna break her off immediately on that at that point. That's what I'm talking about. We are you
Well,
wifing that?
it depends on who you're meeting, because I done met chicks in Sosua that's from Sosua that are not working girls. And I've met chicks from Sosua that are not from Sosua that are working girls.
That is true. That's a big myth that's out there. Everybody thinks Sosua is just Pedro Crescente. Sosua is
They think every girl in Sosua is a working girl. The girls in Sosua working are not from Sosua.
mm-hmm. The people from Sosua don't even go around Pedro Crescente because they don't want to be mixed in with that crowd. It's a lot on the outskirts of Sosua.
I met a chick from Santiago, and she was like, "Oh, you coming down here?" I'm like, "Yo, you gonna be available for me to see you?" She's like, "No." I said, "All right, well, I'm gonna go down to Sosua and Puerto Plata and chill." Oh, why you got to go down there? Because I got friends down there. I got genuine friends in Puerto Plata and in Sosua. Because everybody don't travel for the same thing. I got a homeboy that the only place he wants to be is in Sosua on the strip. But that's where
Mm-hmm.
he wants to be. Everybody moves for their own beat of what they're doing.
Right.
If dude wants to marry someone off the strip that he met, that he talked to for a couple of months, or he talked to for a year, or however long he dealt with him, and he's comfortable doing that, that's a choice by him. It could be wrong in every one of our eyes, but that is his choice, and he has to find out about that choice on his own, because he didn't come to us and ask us to groom him on that. That's a choice of him. It's not a choice that I would make, because, like I said, I grew up around dudes that if your boy slept with your girl, everybody knew it.
Right.
And you couldn't even walk with if you was walking down the street with her, you couldn't walk with your head up high because you know. So to do that with someone that multiple dudes done been with is out of the question for me. But as time goes, dudes' priorities change, and what they will do, what they say they won't do, they will do. Because it depends on your needs of the situation. There's not a lot of dudes in this country, in America right now, that can say they have a woman that will take care of them if they get sick. Even their kids are not willing to take care of them.
Right.
That's what I meant by just if I ever put a ring on it, it'll be a Black American chick, because that's the only woman that stood by me when I had problems.
But see, that's your situation.
Right.
In my situation, I don't have that.
Right.
And right now, in the current environment, as BOB will tell you, it is not easy to find a woman in the United States that you can trust, that will back you 100% if you fall. If you fall, they will step on your back and walk away with your homeboy.
Yeah, they don't make it like they.
This is all I was trying to tell y'all. The dynamics in the States is not as good as it once was. We
Right.
can't even have a simple conversation. The courting process for a Black man and a Black woman is strained, bro. It's a strained process. That's not manufactured, that's strained. But for Travelmatic, tell you and your boys that are full-blown 100% mongers to stay away from the regular women. Do what you do with the pros. Leave the regular women alone. Let us deal with the regular women that's not in the mongering game. Thank you.
They don't want the regular girl. And the regular girls, these dudes is toxic, man. They want a toxic woman. It's a lot of toxic dudes that want toxic. They don't want no regular girl. And the regular girls, that's the thing. That's another part of the trifecta especially in Sosua. A lot of them girls speak English. A lot of these dudes don't want to learn no Spanish. So you ain't got to worry about none of them niggas going to the non-pro other towns and just messing with regular girls. Cause they, like I said, it's dudes that been going there 15 years, ain't never been to Santo Domingo. Why?
Well,
Because
you know why you need to know Spanish, King, to be honest with you? One, you shouldn't have anybody talking around you where you don't understand what they're saying. That's laws of the street, plain and simple. Even if you don't want them to know you understand it,
Right.
you need to understand what they're saying.
And safety.
You know,
If you get into something and you got the confidence, you gotta go to the hospital and they don't know your blood, because you gotta the blood in DR is like scarce. You got to buy that shit. You gotta tell them what's your blood. They gonna what's your blood type. You can't. It's red. Rojo. Like, man, we don't understand. You gonna die. You gonna bleed out because you don't know Spanish. So it's not good to not know no Spanish. Like a lot of them dudes don't know no Spanish and won't get a
You
YouTube channel
100% right.
and have
You are.
dudes translating it while they on the couch doing Chica couch videos, live streams, and he don't know no Spanish. Hey, can somebody get on the call and translate for me on the live? Like, dude, like what? This ain't even flowing right, man. So
Listen, man.
it's a lot of
I
advantages of
just
having Spanish, man.
I just don't get caught up in what everybody does, man. I do whatever I'm comfortable with. I done been down there and stayed for a week and not even hung out with no girls, no nothing, not even people I know. I just was down there to rest. It's all about what you're there for.
Right.
Everybody's not there for the same thing. I'm not a person, I'm not into driving someone's Congress. So I'm not down there spending my money up with dudes who's running around with 4 and 5 girls a day and all that. I'm not doing that. And then they come home or they borrowing money from you so they can go see another girl.
Oh,
Because we all done been there with dudes that's doing this type of stuff.
Right. Yeah, man, it's
You know,
tough. And
borrowing
I
money
think
from
it's
the bullshit.
I think it's gonna get even crazier, especially for the younger crowd, because like that's all that's in their face all day, every day. It's you got like dudes that's in their early 20s going on there buying coochie and shit. I'm like,
you know
dang,
why? But you know why? Because if they go to DR and they spend $1,000 going away, flying down there and buying some girls to get a girl that look like that girl they dealing with in DR, they're gonna come here and have to spend about $5,000 to $10,000.
yes, you are right.
Then the
I
And
mean,
that's
problem is
just
a
trying and
lot of
that's
these
trying to
young cats.
date her.
A problem with a lot of these young cats. I've always said sometimes you're just a little too young to come out here or go there, go to these places because a lot of them they still on some Riz shit, and it's like, bro, these are prostitutes. Yeah, we're oh, and they'll think, oh, I'm young. These dudes are old. I'm young and fly. I can get no, bro, because that's how y'all end up spending more money than us. You know what I'm saying? Y'all come out here thinking you're gonna Riz a prostitute. Like, really, my nigga? Oh, y'all gotta pay. No, everybody gotta pay. And I will pay that same chick you fucking. So you got a lot of cats with their ego, they'll overpay because they think that will stop her from paying, that will stop her from fucking somebody else.
Well, what they're trying to do is price you out of the market, which is what
That's
most
what right.
athletes and rappers do. They price you out of the
And
market
and
for the
and,
girl.
and it be young niggas that try to do that shit as well because they'll be thinking, oh, once they realize that she's gonna go get money elsewhere. Now you got these young cats that be trying to outpay you or whatever for the
Well,
whole aesthetic.
I'm
Because
gonna tell
once
you, I'm
they
gonna tell you what a
realize
young dude told me. This is what a young dude told me. He said, "Yo, you only want to give Shorty $50. I'm gonna give her 200, and I'm gonna knock you out of the market from even being able to talk to her because I'm gonna tell her
hey,
worth is that she should be getting $200 a pop from every dude because she's worth
exactly,
that." This is what
exactly,
they're doing. They're pricing you out of the market.
exactly.
That's their goal. Their goal is so that
They
that
trying to
Shorty won't go with you for the little bit of money. She's gonna
right,
go with the dude that's gonna give her the most money between 200 and 150.
right.
That's what they're doing. So they're
That's
gonna price
exactly what these young
the
trying,
cheaper dude is
trying
gonna
to
get priced out of the market.
trying to
That's what
isolate
they're
the
doing.
business for themselves, which is
That's what
ridiculous.
they're doing.
I mean, I can't really blame them or get mad at them because they're consuming television, movies, sports, where that's the wave. The
That-
wave is to give Shorty a bag to fly out. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So this
Mhm.
is what they're used to. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I just dropped 5,000. She came through. These girls hop on social media like, yeah,
Gil's Arena, watching Gilbert
I was
Arenas.
right. I was with old boy. He dropped the bag on me,
Yeah.
and that's the
That's
wave.
what they
I mean,
do.
we're seeing it, and so this is what it is. But those dudes, what those young dudes don't really understand is that, yeah, you could drop a quick bag on her, but when there'll come a time when it's like, oh yeah, I just gave you 5,000, but that OG that got that pension from the military or that pension from wherever he
out
got them
there
from,
longer, out there
long
longer.
money, and out there, and always
Yep.
saving her when she go through that 5. You know what I'm saying? They always
Mhm.
got the backup.
Dressing
You know what
like an old bum. You know what I'm saying? Dressing in the same clothes every day instead of wearing some new kicks and new all this and little chain every day.
Oh, no. I'm by no means am I saying what he's doing is work. What they're doing is working. What I'm saying is that a lot of dudes
That's their
that
mind. Yeah.
they don't
That's
build
their
the
MO.
right type of rapport with the chicks that they're dealing with to be able not to have to worry about what that type of thing. You understand what I'm saying? Like if you're cool with them chicks, like if you see a chick with her, I smashed her a year ago. Yo, oh, he go a bear. Oh, I'm going with you. Nah, I just wanted to give you a bear. And you keep it pushing. It's a different type of rapport when you're dealing with somebody like that. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
These dudes, you got to build rapport with people. You may never want to touch shorty again, but one day you may need somebody to translate something and she might be walking by.
And it's about respect. A lot of dudes be disrespectful with their money towards a bitch. They be like, oh,
You right about that too.
she gonna
That's
take
true
it
too.
anyway. You know what I mean? She'll take it anyway. She, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of times it's like, that's disrespectful. I'm gonna take your shit, but I'm not gonna respect you on a level of you being a dude that's gonna be, you know what I'm saying, that's gonna do this shit right. A lot of dudes just want a chick, talk to her any kind of way, do this, do that, whatever. She gonna take this money anyway. She'll line up, she'll straighten up. You know what I mean? So it's
Right.
it's,
And
it's attitude as well. You know what
you're
I mean?
not gonna. And to be clear, it's not these YNs that's wifing up these pros, bro. It's dudes our age or older that's doing it. So, you know what I'm saying? There's a disconnect from us. We got to check ourselves, or if you don't want to check guys, cool, because they can do whatever they want. They always say it's my money, I do what I want. But for the most part, it's the older dudes and dudes our ages that's wifing up these women. You know what I'm saying? The younger dudes really ain't doing that. They're gonna spend their bread. They out. They moving to the next destination. So
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? It's a problem with the older generation. So what are we doing? What's the problem with us that we are moving into that range of, hey, let me just take Crystal Lynn off the streets. What's going on with that? That's my curiosity.
Crystal, man.
Is it these YouTubers? Telling guys, hey, getting on a video with a girl next to him, not even telling you how he got her? And then you thinking you coming down here thinking, oh well, I don't mind if you. How many years you been out there? I don't mind if you do that. Come on, girl. I can make things better for you. Let's meet your mother. I'm gonna give her some money too. This
A
is old
lot of
dudes that's
these
doing
OGs, I'm gonna tell you, a lot of these older cats is they see their mortality and their energy levels are down, and it's like the pro. It's just like the NFL. These dudes don't want to retire. They just get old. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to retire. They just can't do it no more. And then they start thinking about, I'm 60. That's 60 hit. And these dudes be thinking different. Now they thinking, oh, I ain't gonna be able to, after a day of trying to bang out 3 or 4 bitches, you feel like you got tackled by Ray Lewis. You know what I'm saying? They be like,
Hell, they get leg cramps.
you know what I'm saying? Hey, nigga ribs hurt. Not even lower body. You got upper body problems. You know what I'm saying? My shoulder hurt. I ain't even fuck a bitch with my shoulder.
Cook now. Cook now.
Yeah.
Look, I can't be popping these blue chews like I used to. This heart medication.
Bro, and these dudes are dying from these pills. liquor pills and cocaine and stuff. You know what? These niggas is crazy. Ain't drinking no water. Beer. Beers, Viagra. You fuck around and Columbia, cocaine, Tusi. It's like, nigga, you 58 years old.
Look, baby, you know what that purple bag mean? That means they got that Crown Royal. Yo, these niggas is crazy, bro.
And did I mention no water at all, my guy? You know what I'm saying?
But a lot of these old cats, they ain't never really lived. And I always say too,
a lot of cats freshly divorced, been married
yes, sir,
30 years.
Bro, but a lot of these guys are military guys that have traveled the world and did that.
Well, yeah, I mean, there are a good bit of military guys too out there, but there are guys who've been married, like you said, 30 years, and you are a creature of habit. The minute you break off from that lady that's been with you for 30 years, within the next year, they say a dude will be back married again
Damn.
because they're creatures of habit. You get that first year he break out, he made 10, 15, 20 girls, but then run that next year, he misses being with that woman in the bed,
With that.
cuddling all day,
You
every
know
day.
what? You
Because he's
you
been
kind of
doing that
right
for
about
30
you
years.
absolutely right about that because a relationship type dude, whatever you are in the States, multiply that shit by 5 when you get to these places. If you a
Yeah,
relationship type of dude, when you
yeah,
get out to these
yes.
places, you're gonna that's just gonna be even more amplified. If you like a
And big,
bunch of
big,
hoes in the States, when you get out to these places, you're gonna be fucking way a bunch of hoes. You know what I'm
and
saying? Whatever you are,
sometimes, excuse me, it's not even like the fuck. It's like Big Bertha back home for 30 years cooked only on Mondays and Wednesdays. You go to DR, these girls cooking 3 meals a day for you.
Facts.
You like, dang, I ain't never had this before. It's just
I ain't gonna
small
lie
stuff
to
like
you.
that.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
But
I lived in DR. I lived in Sasua for 2 years. A year before the pandemic and a year after. And a year before the pandemic, I had me a little Haitian chick, and that lived
mm,
behind by La Union, La Liberation, or whatever it was. And nigga, that girl come through every because I refuse to have a chick stay every day because I don't know those rules. You know how they be having
mm,
those common law staying in your house shit. I'm like, look,
right, right.
you gonna go home every other day. But man, that girl would come there and cook. Man, I put on about motherfucking 30
How,
pounds out in that
how it
motherfucker.
feel? It felt good, didn't it?
Oh my God. I had my AC bumping. We eat. I had
So
beer.
why not?
And then we
Why
lay
not
in.
just get it? Why not just get a girlfriend?
But see, I
That's what you were
don't
saying
want
about because I know
and
you
I was
mentioned the
knocking
law.
the
I
rent
heard
out.
about them laws.
I was knocking the rent out. I was knocking the cable out, the electric. I paid all that for her monthly. She cut and I bought my food. She cooked and I had Tupperware so she could take it to her mama and her daughter. And I was
Sweet.
like, man, that's just sweet relationship. That girl cook enough food. I had 2 days with. I was like, man, god damn, I'm laying up in
Yeah,
that motherfucker.
man. I know you gained some weight on that one, boy.
30 pounds in about 4 months, my nigga. I said,
Oh,
god damn,
That's a girlfriend, guys. Like what? That's a girlfriend, man.
I was cut it out.
That's a girlfriend, man.
but see, that's the sweet thing about it. He didn't have to buy the cow to get the milk.
Bro, and just
This
made
is what.
sure.
But didn't I tell y'all that? Then stop, y'all dudes that want to monger with these girls. Stop messing with them. If you ain't gonna do nothing significant with them, cut them girls loose and pay your money.
But see, that's what
Lead
it
them
was.
girls. Lead them girls for guys that really want to have a significant, real relationship with them. Because you messed them girls up. That girl's probably on the streets now selling some box.
Shit, she was selling box beforehand. It's just the fact that's why I didn't have her every other day. I still was fucking with other bitches, but it's the cooking that got me, bro. I didn't realize I was a nigga that home cooked meals is something different. That chick, I said, "Can you cook?" I did something. She said, "My cooking will make you fall in love." I said, "Listen, I
Man, them
like your
Haitians
I
cold,
like
boy.
your attitude.
Them
If
Haitians cold,
you
man.
say that means you can cook. I don't know about the fall in love part, but if you say some shit like that, you got confidence in your cooking. We can you we can cook. That girl had me on rice and beans and Haitian food and the chicken and cabbages.
Them,
Out.
them
What?
griot,
Oh,
them griot.
man, mash. Oh my god. Showed me how to make the shit with the sopito and all that shit in it. I was like, man,
But as like B.O.B. said, dudes gotta understand these chicks got psychology and degree and never went to college. They
listen,
can tell, they can tell what you need without you even realizing that they're sitting there analyzing what you need.
this knew
In the
exactly
same
what
way that we play to
you
feed them what we want to feed them, to pull them in,
did.
they're doing the same thing to us when they're dealing with us. That's what they're
Yeah,
doing.
man. But see the thing, the women in the States, they know what we need too. They just don't want to do it. They just
Right.
lazy, man.
Bingo, ding, 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 fucking ding,
They just
ding.
I seen this Instagram where this girl was somebody was doing a reaction video to this girl doing the dog treatment. She washed the dog, she did his nails, she did something else to the dog, and the guy said it's amazing how she knew everything to do for that dog, but she can't do none of that for her man.
Tough work.
Yep.
Tough work. They will do it. They will do it. They will in the States do it, but there's gotta be there's a
But
modest.
that's what you call submissiveness. Ooh, don't you say that word, boy, around a black woman. Submissive? Man, that's
Nah,
like
not just the black woman, the American woman.
Yeah.
I mean, but
The
it hit
American woman.
different though. It hit they think back to 1865 when they hit submissiveness. Like, God damn, you gonna have me working in the field or something, boy? Like, nah, I just want you to make me a sandwich, man. Like, yeah,
And it's
you
it's
know,
a trade-off. If you got the trade-off game, then it's a trade-off. Whatever you doing, I pick up the slack. Whatever I do, you pick up the slack. If I'm working, you cooking. If you working, I'm a cook. If you do, you know what I'm saying? It's a balance. But
Man, you
you
just
got
got
too many.
everybody got to realize we never gonna see what we seen in grandparents and parents from years ago. That ain't there no
no,
more. That's
So
it.
because
That's a that's a that's a 5% of the population in our community. You know what I mean?
somewhere
And
down in
when it
Mississippi, Alabama, maybe deep country.
maybe
The
because
problem
you
is
got you got
we got
more
too
girls
many
wanting to act like
dudes,
guys than girls. So
and we got too many dudes that they don't know what a normal, regular looking woman look like or feel like. They on the gram. They looking at. It's like nigga,
bro,
we want motherfucking. We want a, for lack of a better term, we want a vagina, and then we'll
bro,
build a woman, and we'll build a woman around that. These dudes be want breasts, ass. They want titties. They want abs. No, my guy, you gonna fuck around and get a man. You gonna fuck around.
these
You gonna fuck
dudes
around and
don't like. But you can't classify these dudes as men, bro.
right.
Half these dudes don't even know how to change a car tire, do a to change a light bulb. Ask them to fix some shit. Yo,
Hmm.
these dudes don't know none of that.
Nah,
Right.
these dudes be in the mirror more than a chick. And this is what these chicks like. My nephew, high school nephew, he said, "Man, I don't like the girls at my school." I said, "Why you don't like the girls?" He said, "Because they like the gay dudes. Like they flirt with and they met." And my nephew, athlete, big football player stuff. He was like, "These girls in my school, they be liking the half a homo dudes that be." And now they pushing this agenda so bad that you got kids experimenting with homosexuality. You're not gay, but you fucking around pushing the line because it's so prevalent in your society and so accepted and so pushed on these kids that they got kids doing gay shit, like doing homo shit, and that's how you fuck around and get slapped.
let me ask y'all something though. All right. So we talked about a lot of things. We talked about the main subject is why guys are marrying these girls, right? Now back in the States, there is a lack of sex going on in the States, right? Which drive men, right? Because I will stand 10 toes down on this and wait for doctors to actually study this. When a man goes without sex for a long time, there's some chemical imbalances going on that make him want that. And then some men are liable to do whatever to just get that release, right? So what
Hmm.
happens? Do you think the reasoning for that is men's fault? Because we used to have the neighborhood girl that used to give it up, but we used to talk about her and shame her. You think we dropped the ball on that? That's why we ain't got them girls no more.
Well, I'm gonna go back to what you just said and add the fact that a healthy sex life is very important to your health, to your prostate,
Yep.
to your
Exactly.
mental.
They
You know
said
what I'm saying? As a
21
man,
times a month. They said 21 times
exactly,
a month, bro.
exactly. As a man and a woman, normal natural sex is healthy. So that's a key ingredient. And a lot of women in these countries, or all these traditional women, they know that, and they want to go to bed with a high hard one in their mouth or in their back. and wake up. You know what I'm saying?
But
In a male dominated society, that's what these women want. That's their goal. Their goal is to have one of their own man that they can lay up with every day and be have penis envy and just play with
but
your motherfucking dick every day. There are women that these countries, in these male dominated countries. So that is a
but
good
you
point.
but you
So
know what? I'm gonna drop this one on you. It could be right here in front of you, and you don't even think about it because getting in my fitness journey, I've been like observing, and I observe Latin countries and I observe American countries, and I look at the food and the environment. And we always say Dominican Republic is third world, whatever. But they got fresh whole foods. They get a good bit of sun, vitamin D. They don't have all these chemicals and stuff like that, like the United States does. We high stress. We work a lot of hours. Our food got pesticides and all that stuff in it, and so that sometimes working that biological gay thing, or I think a lot of the foods now, because gay is really big than it was 20 years ago now, right? So it's just like, what's in the water, what's in the food here, right? And so you look at the libido that it could impact a woman from, because she don't do nothing but eat McDonald's and Wendy's all day every day. She don't cook. They ain't cooking no more, right? So then you ain't eating because she ain't cooking. You ordering out and all that shit. So your diet's fucked up. They said in the next, I think, 15 years, 50% of Americans going to be obese, like morbidly obese in the next 15, 20 years because of our diet. So what do you think, how that impacts our sexual life, where the woman doesn't really feel up to being, sexual, because she high stress. They always putting the money on the women. The women got to make the money now. So they high stress, they out of place, right?
mhm.
So that puts it stress on us. Got us watching crazy shit on TV, watching creep cameras, watching porn, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or going down to goddamn Sasua and fucking 4 or 5 bitches a day.
Man,
So a lot of that is actually boiling down to what we eat every day here in the States.
it's couples out there that done replace sex with food. That
Mm-hmm.
their romance is food, and their arousal towards each other is eating. You know what I'm
And the
saying?
women with the toys. The toys have taken a big place too.
And
Them roses done got them clits like worn out, boy. They don't even come no more. They don't even come no more by male penetration. Sometimes I've heard the girl got to get her rose out the drawer after the dude done, cause she ain't came yet. She got to get her, cause she's so worn. That clit so worn out by that non V12 vibrator rose.
yeah, and I've known some chicks that got used to, if you want to say hooked on, or very used to pleasuring themselves, and
Mm-hmm.
a whole damn 13 months will pass and they ain't touch a dude. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? The time be going by so fast that they doing all that shit that they didn't even, they hadn't been with a man all this 2024 or some shit like that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So and then you got the government, trying to sterilize and kill off most of the population anyway. So pushing this homo agenda, pushing this independent agenda, two agendas that do not produce children, that messes up sex anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's a lot of issues with regard to just having some regular sex. And like BLB said earlier, with regard to that girl, how we used to have a girl in the neighborhood or whatever that messed around. That there was a time in history when America or wherever was building cities. The whole house was very important. The whole house was how these men got released their steam from working all day. They didn't have wives. They would be done left wherever they from, going to another city, another place to work, building up this place. these brothels or whatever, they were important places for these, and they were well kept, well taken care of places because they were important to the physical and mental uh well-being of these
Right.
dudes. You
And
know what
these
I'm saying?
third world countries got all of that. They got the
And,
brothels. They got the
and nobody spends more money than the locals. As much as we in these places, we don't. We're a fraction of the whole money. The locals pay. You know what I'm saying? There are grown, old ass local dudes with that spending the same 4,000, 5,000 pesos on
Mhm.
just like us, or however you want to do it in Colombia, 400,000, half a million pesos. And oh, geez, don't talk about the drug money in Colombia and the little drug money now in DR, because people got to understand they don't have the bills that we have. Yeah, we got money, but we paying for this car, we paying this electricity, we paying this insurance, we paying this for our kids to do this. Not saying they don't have that, but it's not nearly as expensive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're home, they're not paying rent as much as we are. They're not, you
Right.
know what I'm saying? But they getting their little dope money. So they can blow their money. You know, people be like, oh, why they no, because they don't have the bills that we have. That's why you can see a chick with an iPhone that costs more than her motherfucking apartment back home in
Right.
hell she from, because she don't need to save money. She don't need, so she can buy that with no repercussion. You know,
Right.
these dudes can, these little dope boys can blow their little dope money on these bitches because they don't have the responsibilities and the bills we have. They not, these motherfuckers don't have child support like that. You know what I'm saying? So we got to think about that element with regard to these motherfuckers spending money just like us on these chicks.
Yeah. It's some guys that spend a lot of money, man. A lot of money.
Yeah, it's some locals that's been like, I got homies broke that down to me as well. You be like, bro, these old dudes, like these old locals that got business, that got money. It's Dominicans with money. It's Colombians with money. They spending, you know, the prices are high because they're buying it. You go to Santo Domingo, them brothels or whatever, they need 5,000. That ain't for us. They ain't doing that for us. Going in these clubs and paying all this money. And that ain't. That's for the locals. That's for the local Dominicans who got money. Local Colombians who got money.
Yeah, they do be spending a good bit, especially in Santo Domingo.
You know what I'm saying? So, but either way, shit, I'm about to wrap it up, man. I got to get up from here and figure out what I got to do tomorrow. I got to get my ass up and go do some shit. But hey, y'all, it's a pleasure.
Yeah, Jay done
Somebody
went to
sleep
sleep.
on this motherfucker. Somebody
Shoot, we
snoring
thought
on this motherfucker.
it's like what 3 o'clock in the morning out there with Jay.
5 out, was it 12, 1, 2, 3, 4? It's like 4 o'clock.
Big J's over there having what is it, beans and toast, bro? It's that time in the morning, bro.
Boy, you see all the shit they giving them, all that hell they giving them for their raggedy ass food.
Oh man, you better chill out, bro.
That shit is hilarious, bro. My bad.
Beans and toast, bro. You getting that?
The
With
fucking
some tea.
them
With some
pies
tea.
with that mushy peas.
Oh
With
man.
some English tea.
Oh my god. I'm like,
Tea
boy,
time.
y'all need black
Yo,
folks.
man.
Need some
Y'all
Caribbean.
gonna keep it up, man. Jay gonna get on a plane and start looking for y'all.
They need Caribbean. They need Caribbeans over there.
Could you imagine the
Yeah,
UK without Africans and Caribbeans, bro? It would be
Oh my
sad, bro.
god, bro. They food be looking like World War II food. It's like, what
Hey yo,
exactly
Refugee
y'all
food.
eating over there,
what's that
bro?
food that they was eating in the Matrix? That slop.
That slop.
Tough work.
Oh, my crazy work. Hey,
So,
y'all
so
stay
none of
up,
you guys
man.
would advocate. None of you guys would. If you had a partner that started traveling, and he met a girl and he really liked her, and she was a pro, you wouldn't give her the word with the license to take
No,
happy
not
type thing.
supporting, not supporting that.
Oh man.
man, I had a friend do it. I had a friend do that, man.
Me too.
What if she offers you? What if he's with her for a while and she offers you, you know what I'm saying, some strange? Would you take it though?
Nah, I don't go behind my boys no type of way, no matter what. Not part of my agenda. You never know how somebody feels about somebody. So I ain't good. I don't fuck with that at all.
That's a fact.
Never been part of my agenda. You know what I'm saying? But what I told him in that situation was you could have did everything you wanted to do for her without marrying her.
Yeah.
That's my advice. You don't have to put a ring on her if you want to do things for her. Just do it. You don't need to marry her. Because even marriage doesn't mean somebody's yours.
How are men content with rewarding terrible choices in life just because she's pretty? I don't get it.
And you know what? We probably never will.
No. Not where we come from, not how we was built. I don't get it. So that's the answer, Big J, sleeping ass. We don't get it. We don't get why they do what they do, but it's never gonna stop, man. It's never gonna stop. I mean, shit. I'm telling y'all, boys. I love DR. The time I had there, but Cartagena's a different animal, bro. It's a different beast, bro.
As in, you like it?
As in, there's some bad bitches over there. I mean, I know Brazil got some. Brazil got some, but I'll definitely put Colombia ahead of it.
Them ain't not but Venezuelans, man.
Some of them, but there's a lot of Colombians over there that do what they do. And what's crazy is the Colombians are coming over. Remember Atlanta. Remember a lot of Dominicans and Puerto Ricans moved to Atlanta to get that rap money. The Colombians are taking over that spot now. The Venezuelans are taking over that spot now. They here. Them ones that crossed the border, Trump ain't been able to track them down. All you gotta do is watch a rap video and you can find them.
Yeah, I ain't found them yet, huh?
Nah. Just look at the next Lil Uzi Vert Yachty Bucks video and she right there.
Nah, they down there in Miami now, man. They love going down to Miami. They get on them yachts and boats.
They scared of DeSantis though. They scared of DeSantis.
Yeah, they are kind of They are kind of scared to go down into Florida. They know the word is out. Don't go down into Florida.
The Cubans is snitching on them, bro. The Cubans like get up out of here.
Shit, he done turn on the Cubans too.
And listen, but fellas, I'm about to get out of here as well. It's always a pleasure to be rocking with y'all boys.
Yeah, man. For sure. I'm out, man.